Cricket balls are red, baseballs are white, American footballs are brown, and tennis balls are yellow. We don't even think about it really, but the story behind the tennis ball is actually quite interesting and even involves Sir David Attenborough. I know. Well, here's the tale. Tennis is widely known to be a French sport. It dates back to the 12th century when people used handmade balls, and it was then called tennis, which is the verb to hold in French. And people used some pretty wacky material to make the balls with. Cork, wool, chalk, animal fur, and even human hair. A few centuries on, Germany got dead into the tennis too, but wanted to make a few modifications to the ball to make it a bit more effective. Around this time, an American chemist had just created something called vulcanized rubber. Out of that, people started developing air-filled rubber balls, which were properly bouncy, but either red or grey in colour. These were manufactured in Melton Mowbray. That's right, the home of the pork pie. One problem, the balls kept on breaking on impacts with the racket. The call of new balls please seemingly coming over every other point. Step forward English lawyer and tennis enthusiast John Moyer Heathcote, who suggested balls be covered in flannel to stop them from degrading. And thus the modern-day tennis ball was born. But these were white or black, so how did they become yellow? Well, in 1967, the controller of BBC Two, one Sir David Attenborough, decided the corporation should show Wimbledon on colour TV. He got his wish and it was wide into people's homes across the country. The only sticking point, the white balls were nearly impossible to see on the screen. So the International Tennis Federation, sensing an opportunity, started developing a new ball that would be visible even without the need for 4K LED displays. Not that anyone had that in the late 60s. After rigorous testing, they came up with the colour optic yellow and decided every ball be coated in that colour from there on in. And there you have it. Tennis balls are yellow, all because Sir David Attenborough wanted to watch Wimbledon from the comfort of his own front room. You could say the ITF aced it.
Good morning. Coming up to 5 minutes past 6 o'clock, talkSPORT breakfast. Me, Alan Brazil, and Dino's here, Dean Saunders. Morning, Dino.
Morning,
how
Al.
are we?
Very good, very good. First thought when I seen you, lobster thermidor.
Really?
You're looking brown.
Yesterday was beautiful in the garden. Really, really nice. And we got some belting days coming up, haven't we? It could be a bit of the gun today by the river.
Is it?
Could be, although the Lions play the Brumbies, don't they? I really want to see that.
Well, we can watch that game. I'll get it on over the road.
Yeah, okay.
See if they'll put it on for us.
Oh, they will do, won't they?
We can watch that. That should be good.
So what have you been up to, Dino?
Usual, Al. Golf and bit of talkSPORT. Usual. Been to a few dinners. Not been on holidays. Went to the Bobby Moore Classic in Portugal.
Did you?
That was great.
Yeah.
See Bobby Robson's son there. Mark. He organises it all.
Oh,
You've been a few times.
You're the Bobby Robson golf, not Bobby Moore.
Bobby Robson, I said, didn't I?
No, Bobby Moore.
Did I say Bobby Moore? Did I? He was a great player as well. Did I say Bobby Moore? I must be going down the bend. No, but I've been. The weather's been great, isn't it? Great for golf as well. And we've got a heat wave starting today, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. I drove up this morning. Beautiful it was from the east, the sun coming up. Gorgeous.
You know, we moan, don't we, about everything in this country, but when the weather's like this, it is the best country, isn't it?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. If things are working. I think, do you not notice? I was watching Wimbledon yesterday and the days before, loads of empty seats.
Yeah.
The weather's too hot for people, I don't know, but I've never seen so many empty seats and great games. But my driver today said, there was 4 tube lines down yesterday. People couldn't get them.
My son's going today.
Is he?
Yeah, but I don't know how much the tickets are. Expensive. By the way, Al, you know things irritate you. I've looked in the paper, just like I was going through the paper. Somebody's got fined in Twickenham for putting the bins out 4 hours early.
Oh, well, does that surprise you?
150 quid.
Well, I wouldn't pay it.
He hasn't paid it.
No, I wouldn't pay it.
And they said you can appeal. He was going on holidays that day, so he's had to put his bins out before he's gone on holiday.
Yeah.
But you're only allowed to leave your bins out between
it's just
6 p.m. or 10 p.m. and 8 p.m. in the morning.
Well,
and he's put it out 4 hours early.
I think you should be able to call them and explain. They'll probably say, we'll get your neighbour to do it, but it's, what if you don't go on with your neighbour?
It's just another way of taxing you and getting...
Well, you do if you don't have any neighbours.
No, honestly, do you remember you used to be able to relax, walk around, relax and, go shopping? Now, 20-mile-an-hour speed limits, there's bumps in the road, there's cameras going through the traffic lights. I'm a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you've got to pay to park.
Yeah.
Remember, you used to be able to park for free.
It's just a con. It's another tax. It's an absolute disgrace.
Anyway, good morning out there, everyone. Liven up.
So, anyway, at 10 o'clock, if we are going to have a little debrief and watch the rugby, don't forget the game for the Lions against the Brumbies is live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2. If you can't get to telly, if you can't watch it over the road with me because you're at work, pop in, pop an earphone in and turn a dull working day into a fun one. It's a good game, this one. I think Australia have struggled, the Lions have struggled, but this should be a proper. The Brumbies are a decent side, best side over there. And it looks like we could be playing our first test side, or very similar, so it's going to be a cracker.
As a manager, you do, when you're building up to this, you do want things to go wrong on the route so you can put them right. You don't want to be papering over the cracks, beating teams 64 points, 65. You learn nothing.
Yeah.
So you learn now, and he's getting to the point where he's going to put his best team on the pitch, I think, today.
Yeah. Last night's 2-0 win, we're back to football now, over Fluminense. Not only saw them book the spot at Chelsea in the final, but also pocket almost an extra 22 million in prize money. Chelsea are in the Club World Cup final.
Neto swings across into the penalty area, cleared by Thiago Silva, and curled in superbly by Joao Pedro. What a way to open his Chelsea account. No celebration from the former Fluminense player, but that was a special goal. Flicked on now by Cano into the penalty area, and here's an opportunity, but it's cleared off the line by Cucurella. Rene fires it in, appeals for handball inside the area, and it's a penalty.
I don't know where he's meant to put his arm.
No penalty, and that is VAR doing its job. Wide towards Joao Pedro, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's shown the inside, he takes the route, and he hammers the ball home in majestic fashion.
What a player, what a game, unbelievable.
And that is it, the full-time whistle goes, and Chelsea are 90 minutes away from potentially being world champions. Full-time, Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2.
2 cracking goals, Second one was spectacular off the underside of the bar, brilliant.
Yeah, great news to Chelsea, isn't it? They've been struggling for a striker. They've been hoping Jackson would come through for them, but to start with 2 goals like that, it's the first time in 9 years, a striker scored 2 goals on his first start.
Is that right?
Batshuayi, is it Batshuayi?
Yeah.
He scored 2 against Bristol Rovers in the Cup. But
so Liam Delap missed out through suspension. But what an opportunity. Pedro now, would he be Chelsea's first choice striker? Probably at the moment, wouldn't he?
Well, after that, yeah. I mean, there's you reminded me there, Harry Kane, stick of dynamite in his feet. When he strikes the ball, he can shoot. Some players can't kick it properly, but he's got a bit of class about him.
So how's he going to keep all 3 happy? You've managed, how's he going to do it?
Well, you say to him, look, whoever's playing well, I'm not a mug. I'm not going to pick a team. I want to do well as a manager, so I'm going to pick the team that I think's going to win games, and I'll play you if you're playing well. We've seen Wanyari, the Arsenal young winger, wants assurances that he's going to start lots of games.
But what does that? Yeah, how do you do that?
Well, he's got Saka there, Trossard, Martinelli, Sterling. If you're playing well, I'll pick you.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, lads, on top of that, I don't bring players off who are playing well. So when you come off, don't shake your head at me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not...
Unless you try to save them for a big game.
Yeah. Well, he scored 2 yesterday, and the old club, because they've spent 1.3 billion on that squad, Al, and you haven't got a striker.
Yeah.
So to get him scoring, and if they win the final, they've got the money back for Delap, they've got the money back for him, for Pedro, and Gittins. They've got all their money back.
Oh, yeah. Talking of the final, Chelsea have the tickets to the final booked. They'll play the winners of PSG and Real Madrid. That one's live on talkSPORT tonight. And Blues boss Maresca's delighted to have the chance to become world champions.
We are very happy. We are very proud to play the final on Sunday. The reason why is because this is the Club World Cup, first edition. Best club in the world, they are here. So for us to be there on Sunday is something that we have to be proud. So very happy about that.
Yeah, Enzo Maresca, but I would argue, is it the best sides in the world? No Liverpool, no Arsenal, no Barcelona, no Napoli, etc. It's a difficult one.
No, and the draw's been good to them. They've played Palmeiras, Club Tunis, Benfica, Fluminense. They've missed Juventus, Bayern Munich, Man City. They've missed all the big hitters. Yeah. So, but don't take anything away from them. It's like 38 degrees there yesterday, and the Brazilian teams all are used to playing in that heat.
Yeah.
So they've got a great chance of winning that now. But I mean, I fancy PSG.
Does that mean they're ready to win the title? Chelsea, whoever they play, PSG or Real Madrid, is going to be difficult. Former Blues Jason Cundy, he is not sure.
We don't deal with setbacks well. Honestly, we get bloody nose, so we get a punch on the face, and we rock, and you watch everyone. And I see it time and time again last season. We're not good. We need to deal with setbacks. If we can start dealing with setbacks in a bit more of a mature manner and find a way to get through those tough times during games, and they always come along, but I felt that we just seemed to look like a young team. There were parts of that season last year where I go, we look good. You can see where this is going. And there's parts of the season you go, yeah, I can see how, well done, but you're still young. You don't deal with setbacks. If we can deal with setbacks, then I think we've got a great chance of doing something. We ain't going to win the title. We ain't better than Liverpool, right? We ain't going to win the title.
I think next year, I'd say Liverpool favourites, then Arsenal, City and Chelsea. That's the top 4 for me.
That's what I'd say as well, yeah. I think Arsenal, the signings they've made, that they've put themselves right in the hot seat. Man City look like they've invested well, but
it's just
some goals
defensively, and aerial defence, crosses are still struggling. I don't know why, to be honest.
Yeah, and
maybe they've got to close the ball into the box quicker.
Yeah, well, when you look at Liverpool won the league last year, you look at their back 4, it's settled. Andy Robertson, Trent, Canate, Van Dijk.
They may change now, both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be reluctant.
Obviously, but Andy might go as well.
So Frimpong will play, or Conor Bradley will play at right back, and then Andy Robertson, for me, 31 years of age, proven left back at all levels. He's a bit young to be just getting rid of. Yeah. I think he's a great fullback.
Chelsea fans, let's hear from you. 03717 223344 is the number. Give us a call. Do you agree with Jason Cundy, or are you banging it next year, the Premier League? Coming up, we'll look at the back pages with Jamie Vardy with an improvement on Manchester United's current strikers. We'll discuss that one next.
He plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Jim Kerr.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jim.
66 today. Happy birthday, Jim.
He was on the show not long ago, wasn't he?
Tony Glenboy, yes.
Was you in school with him?
Yeah. And Charlie Boccio, his guitarist, was in my class, took a couple of classes.
Who else was in your class? Because there's loads of them, isn't there?
There's a guy called Jerry McElhone. He's manager of Texas, and his younger brother, who's younger than me, plays guitar in Texas.
All right.
There was a band, Altered Images. And also Fran Healy from Travis.
Who's the music teacher at that school?
I didn't know we had one.
It must have been good, or she.
I never knew we had one, honestly.
Let's find out who the music teacher was.
It was frightening, isn't it? Yeah. Right, let's have a look at today's back page with Tesco Mobile for Business.
Backpage review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Are you self-employed? Get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. For terms and verification, visit tescomobile.com/business.
And a very good morning, Single Sam. How are we, Sam?
Good morning, Al. Good morning, Dino. How are we?
Very good. I give you a mention on Tuesday when I was on with Jeff.
Oh,
Stanley.
no. Why? What happened?
Crookie come on the screen. Alex Crook, transfer expert.
talkSPORT's chief football correspondent.
And he's copied your haircut.
He's copied my haircut.
I don't think he has. Sam Ellard, yeah.
What's my haircut?
It's a bit of a John Travolta.
Is it?
Yeah, that type.
What did Crookie... Go on.
Is it Lord's on tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. Can't wait out.
So a few of my pals are going, and by all accounts, I didn't know there's a tradition. You get your champagne, you go down at the boundary, and you pop the champagne at 10 a.m.
At 10 o'clock, yeah. Did you know that?
Yeah,
no, it's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be there tomorrow for talkSPORT. I can't wait for it. The weather is set absolutely
it's
perfectly.
Gonna be beautiful.
England, India, 1-1 Lords. We've got Jofra Archer coming back. Boomer's going to come back for India. Series is set up absolutely perfectly.
But is there 5 or 3?
5 test matches.
5,
yeah, 5 test matches. Yes, I'll do a bit more cricket with you at 6:50. But there's lots of. I like mornings like this. And there's lots of sort of different sports all across the back pages. Poor Cameron Norrie's on the back pages, all over in 99 minutes. Is the headline.
Alcaraz was brilliant.
He's different level, isn't he?
He was brilliant. I watched it, and I felt for Norrie because he's been great. But Alcaraz, different class.
22 years of age, and that the quality, the presence on centre court, Dino, absolutely remarkable.
I don't know if I'm right. Didn't he get 80% of his first serves in the first 2 sets? Something silly.
Is that right? Could be right. That wouldn't surprise me.
Norrie's second serve was struggling. Alcaraz picked him off.
Norrie is last Brit to exit Wimbledon singles after having no answers to the brilliance of Alcaraz. That's on the back of the Times. Sorry, the line calls is again made the back pages. So bad it's scary. Back at the Mayor, Wimbledon's new electronic line calling system was slammed as scary after yet another embarrassing failure yesterday. Taylor Fritz and Kachanov were forced to replay a point in the men's quarter-final when foul was wrongly called midway through a rally, leading to boos on number 1 court. Of course, this followed follows the controversial decision to get rid of the line judges.
Yeah.
There was a decision in the cartel game the other day which they got wrong, and it's caused a little bit of controversy, hasn't it, over the last couple of weeks? And you just hope, Dino, that, you know, imagine Sunday sitting around Alcaraz final potentially on centre court. You hope that in a big moment there's not one of these calls that's wrong.
What a game that's going to be, because Sinner's very fortunate.
Well, he's the luckiest man in the world at the moment, isn't he? 2 sets down to Dimitrov the other day.
Has he ripped his pec?
Gets through. Yeah, it was his pec. Yeah, he went to serve. Yeah.
On the line call, Sam, I think they've blamed the ball boy. Was moving,
the positioning.
moving
that's right.
across the line when the shot, it got fooled into thinking it was a serve.
Yeah. That's right, yeah, because I mean, but it's just you think though, for something like Wimbledon, a major tournament, things like that, for a shot to be in and be called out mid-rally, just shouldn't be happening, should it? No. Joao Pedro fights Chelsea into the final, back of the Guardian. Again, that Wimbledon story on the Telegraph Sport. Joao Pedro back of the Star.
2 great goals.
Oh, I mean, the 2 goals, he took both goals really, really well, didn't he? How about this for a transfer story on the back of the Sun from Martin Blackburn? Yeah, absolutely, Al. Jamie Vardy heads a trio of free agent strikers who have been offered to Manchester United, former Newcastle star Callum Wilson and ex-Everton man Dominic Calvert-Lewin, as revealed by Sunsport on Sunday, are also in the mix. United boss Ruben Amorim is keen to bring in a number 9. Of those 3 options, Dino, Vardy, Calvert-Lewin,
Hey, Billy
Callum
Sharp's still
Wilson
playing, by the way. At 40. Billy Sharp's still scoring goals for Doncaster.
You'd have Calvert-Lewin if it weren't for his injury record.
Sure.
Wouldn't you?
Well, I say you can't sign him because you're in every tournament till the death, so you can't have a player who only plays 25, 30 games a season.
What about Jamie Vardy, Gal? Could Jamie Vardy do a job at Manchester United, even if it's maybe as a backup option?
You know, he's still got his pace. He knows where to be in the box. He might do it for a season. You don't know, but I'd say one season. You know, if you're looking long term, you wouldn't be going for Jamie, but he's kept himself brilliant. He's, as I say, that pace is invaluable.
I'd be thinking, how much money did we spend on Højlund? How much money did he cost?
It was 60, 70 ballpark, yeah.
So
and Xerxes wasn't too far off either.
Well, there's not a better man in the country to learn off than Jamie Vardy. So it's worth signing him just to try and get something more out of Højlund.
The problem is Højlund's not got that turn of pace to get him behind that Vardy's got still.
His movement's good, Højlund, but I just think he's
too rash in front of goal, isn't he?
He's in a sinking ship. When you're a striker and you're playing for a team that's a sinking ship, it's difficult. You must have done that, Al. You're playing a team that's struggling.
Yeah.
And you end up like you're not getting any chances, or you get one and you miss it, and then you think there's not another chance coming my way.
I have to say, I think Højlund, Jamie Vardy could maybe be like a decent backup option for Man United, but Højlund actually, for me, I think, are proven they're simply nowhere near good enough right now.
Well, maybe
they've got to go out and sign a proven.
Delap, you know.
No, exactly.
Because Delap's now thinking, am I going to get a regular game for Chelsea?
Well, he's probably not going to start on the final now on Sunday.
It's a long way from Van Persie, Andy Cole, Dwight York.
Yeah. You could list 20.
Van Nistelrooy.
Of course, it's crazy.
The fans must be.
To spend over £100 million.
What about the lines?
Yeah, lots of line stuff. A little bit of team news. This is in the Express. Mara Jane Sisso and Farrell could still be an asset to England, and admits he was stunned by the reaction to the fly half's call up. He landed down under on Friday, then was booed, wasn't he, in the stands? Did you see that when the cameras panned to him in the stands? Yeah. Owen Farrell was booed, which I think's all been a little bit unfair. I mean, I think his teammates.
What has he done wrong? I thought he was brilliant for England.
Oh, he was brilliant for England. I think some people think there's maybe a little bit of favouritism with his old man being the head coach and getting that call up. But it's all been, I agree, I think it's all been, he's been such a good player for so many years for England. I think some of it's been, but I think, judging by his reaction when the cameras panned to him, I think some of his teammates on the bench were booing alongside him as a joke with the fans. I think he's taken the sort of the lighter side of it. But
I think that's absurd. Yeah, I think that's ridiculous.
Booing's not good. But 11 o'clock start today. Yeah. The Lions looking to make it 4 wins from 4 in Australia. Out the Lions, I've not
been impressed yet, but Australia struggled. You know, we spoke about it,
very much so.
Fiji, we thought it's a strange game to have. I don't know if they get any injuries, but Fiji are so physical, but they struggled to beat Fiji, didn't they?
Yeah, and is the Lions something out that when that first test comes around, do you get into it? You glued to the TV or radio?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, Dino?
Yeah, I'll be watching it, and I'm not worried about things going wrong on the route to before the first test. Because you need to iron out the problems before you start.
It feels like they're bubbling nicely. Maybe could be peaking at the right time, the Lions.
Yeah, they're a better team than Australia, aren't they?
I think so. I mean,
Favourites.
with Australia, it's something that was remarkable. England's first warm-up game was against Argentina, who were ranked higher than Australia in the rankings. I mean, that's quite remarkable, isn't it?
Oh, no, Argentina are a good side, and I said it'd be difficult. I thought they might just win it, but, the Argentina have improved dramatically.
That game, by the way, live on talkSPORT 2, by the way, 11 o'clock.
Okay, I was just going to say that. Lions game live on talkSPORT 2 at 11 a.m. Coverage starting at 10. You don't want to miss it. Thanks, Sam. I was looking at today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business. Coming up, we turn attention back to Wimbledon and ask the question with all the problems, should they bring back line judges for the final?
Backpage review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Are you self-employed? Get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. For terms and verification, visit tescomobile.com/business.
Corinthian Casuals are a team in the Combined Counties League Premier Division South. Despite that, they're one of the most important clubs in world football. Here's why. The club was formed in 1939 as the result of a merger between Corinthians FC and Casuals FC. Now, Corinthians FC were founded in the late 1800s when the FA's top brass were absolutely sick of getting pumped by Scotland every time they played them. As a result, Nicholas Lane Jackson set up an amateur side which would bring in the best players who could all play for the national side. And it worked. It wasn't long before England were dominating the international fixtures they played, and it was largely down to Corinthians. In fact, in 1894 and 1895, they played consecutive games where Corinthians provided the entire England 11. But the thing is, the players refused to play professional football. They didn't believe in it. They wanted to spread the values of sportsmanship, competition, and played for the love of the game. It also helped most of the players were Oxbridge graduates who didn't need the money, but instead of entering league and cup competitions, they played exhibition football and toured the world, bringing the beautiful game with them. Think of it like the Harlem Globetrotters of football, and it was this which spread the game throughout the world and made it so popular. Most famously, in 1910, they travelled to Brazil, and the locals in Sao Paulo were so impressed they started their own team under the same name. Yes, the same Corinthians who won the FIFA Club World Cup in 2021, one of the biggest clubs in Brazil.
all right? Men at Work. Is that the group?
Yeah, that's it. Aussies. Although he's from Glasgow, lead singer. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. Dino is with me. The British and Irish Lions are back in action this morning for the fifth and penultimate warm-up game before the first test against Australia. It's against probably the hardest opposition so far, the Brumbies in Canberra. Kicks off 11 a.m. on talkSPORT 2. Shaban is your host for coverage from 10, but it would seem a few here at talkSPORT struggle to spell her name. Here's Tony Cascarino tackling that task on Simply the Best yesterday.
Please spell the name of someone we know and love here at talkSPORT, Shaban Ahern.
Oh, Cass.
No. It's the Christian name and the surname, Cass.
Well, Ahern, I'm pretty much do that. Shaban, I always S-H-A-B-B-E-R-N. Ahern.
I think a couple of those letters were right, but only a couple.
Oh, it's not, is it with an I?
No, look, just go with Shaban again.
Shaban. Well, I always thought.
Yeah.
I always thought Shaban was S-H-A-N-B. No, I'm gone,
Okay.
Jeff.
Right, Shaban. Shaban Ahern.
Well, it's O-H-E-R-N, isn't it?
O-H.
Not Hearn as in Barry Hearn.
No.
Oh dear. Cash. Dino, can you spell Shaban?
Look, how it comes in my head is Sheban. S-H-E-B-A-N.
Close,
Shaban.
very close.
It's not.
S-H-E-B-A-H-N.
Oh, Shaban.
And Ahern, H-A-H-E-R-N, I think.
Ahern, yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm.
Well, so how do you spell her surname?
A-H-E-R-N. I don't know if there's an E in the end. Yeah, an E in the end, yeah. Ahern.
It's an Irish name, isn't it?
Oh, of course, yes.
Top of the morning, Irish.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. There you go. Dean, so many are saying it's a team that was starting the first test. We're on to the Brumby game now. No Welshman in the starting 15. How does that make you feel? That is
tragic.
Wales, not one Welshman in the side.
Well, there was one. He's got injured. But, no, it's Welsh rugby at the moment is struggling really badly. And
why, though?
The test team's not won since, I don't know when the last time we won a game. But I don't know whether it's a combination of... Do
you know what you've lost? You know the record? 18 in a row you've lost.
Yeah, I know. And that's never happened, obviously, in history of Welsh rugby. And, on the back page of the newspapers in Wales, Al, I don't know whether it's like the same in Scotland, but in Wales, the back page is rugby.
No, no.
It's football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, in Wales, it's rugby. So you turn 2 pages in before you get to the football. Right. That's what it's always been like. So I don't know whether it's kids. Yeah, it's a rugby nation, right? And everybody played rugby. I had to play rugby or I couldn't play football at school. If I didn't play in the rugby team, they wouldn't let me play in the football team. And all my teachers were rugby players at school.
Right.
Blevin, Bowen, names like that, like Walt Williams, all like rugby players' names. But I don't know whether it's a combination of kids sitting on the settee playing on PlayStations now.
Yeah, but we've all got that.
Or a bit of Gareth Bale doing well. Gareth Bale, kids watching going, I want to be Ryan Giggs or Gareth Bale. And Gareth, over a period of about 8 or 9 years, it single-handedly got us to qualify, and everybody's watched him play for Real Madrid and thought, I'll have a bit of that.
You better mention John Hartson as well, because you're taking on the quiz today.
Well, John was a great striker, by the way. People don't realise John Hartson, they think big target man. He was a brilliant finisher, great feet for a big man. They don't say that anymore, do they? He's got a good touch for a big fella.
I still think it's one of your funny stories.
Oh,
Boss, Bobby, why'd you take me off?
Tunisia away. Shall I tell it quickly? A short version. Right. So
I love this.
So John's kicked Al Berkovich in the face, hasn't he? And he's got banned. He's got banned for 7 games or something. So he's told Larry Redknapp, I'm going to Ireland. Get out the way. So he goes to Ireland, eats pies and drinks Guinness for 6 weeks. Wales v Tunisia, friendly, June 15th, something like that. Like this now. We get to Tunisia. You know the start of a Formula 1 race when the heat is rippling?
Yeah.
It was like that on the pitch.
Shimmering off the pitch.
So he's turned up. We've got the green kit. Shirt, short, socks, all green. and the kit man's only brought medium shirts. So John squeezed into his shirt, and his head's like a tomato, right, in the team photo. And I'm playing up front with him against Tunisia, who've qualified for the World Cup, and it's a friendly for us, so half our team's not there.
Yeah.
Bobby Gould's the manager. He takes us to the hotel. There's no air conditioning. Right. Shambles. We had to move hotels, and we went to that hotel on the beach where, remember that bad things happened?
Yeah.
So we ended up getting to the game 4-0 down at half-time. Right? They were just popping it round us like Brazil.
Yeah.
And ball goes into the corner flag right on half-time. I chase after it into the corner flag. The centre-half gets there before me. He's trying to kick the ball off my legs for a throw-in.
Yeah.
So I've got my hand on his back, trying to not let him kick the legs, and eventually turns the other way and rolls it to the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So I'm looking around, where's my partner?
Yeah.
He's on the halfway line with his hands on his knees, saying, sorry, I'm knackered. So Gouldy put his number off, took him off, right? So we come in at the end of the game, we got beat 4-0. So Bobby Gould says, right, anybody got anything to say about that? And Gary Speed went, we're a shambles of a nation. Shambles. Training ground's a cabbage patch. The hotel, no air conditioning. We've paid a system we've never even practiced. What are we doing? And Bobby Gould went, oh, I get it. I get it, Gary. That's my fault, that performance, is it? And anybody else while we're there? Chris Coleman sticks his hand up. Bob, look at the state and the lads. We've all got sunstroke. We've been training for an hour every day. Oh, the weather's my fault as well, is it? He goes, and John Hartson puts his hand up. Bob, what you take me off for? He said, you're not fit, John. It was hilarious. Well, you know when you've lost 4-0, you can't laugh.
No.
Can you? But
no, I would. Right, so Dino's getting his thinking cap on to take on John Hartson in the quiz. You won't want to miss that. And one more reminder for you, talkSPORT 2. To hear the Lions Welsh at work, just download the app and swipe between the stations. Now, Cam Norrie's Wimbledon run came to a humbling end yesterday. It was a great run, though, with a straight sets loss. Back-to-back winner Carlos Alcaraz on centre court, ending British hopes of this year's championship. Did Norrie just come up against a force of nature in Alcaraz, or was he simply not good enough? There's an article in The Guardian today that says Wimbledon centre court is already yearning for Andy Murray. John is now to answer that question, former British tennis number one Barry Cowan. Barry, morning Barry.
Morning Barry.
Yeah, good morning guys. He was totally outclassed.
Yes.
Unfortunately yesterday, Alcaraz. Talking about pronouncing names, I'm still going to call him Alcaraz. He's just too good.
Yeah, he was. God, tell you what, he's not the tallest, Barry, but God, does he get a serve in? Unbelievable, and the power he generates.
I know, and the scary thing is when he first won Wimbledon a few years back, he's improved his serve. He's improved all aspects of his game. I think we saw that yesterday. And the one thing with Alcaraz is that when he reaches Superman status, no one can touch him. But there will be dips. We saw that actually early on in the tournament. But yesterday it was complete. And I thought what was interesting was when we talk about Alcaraz from Spain, we think about Nadal before, where he dominated the sport for many years along with Federer and Djokovic. He served and volleyed 20 times yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack Draper, do you know how many times Jack Draper served and volleyed in 2 matches?
No.
6'4" left-hander once.
Yeah.
So
and Norrie's second serve, Alcaraz just picked it off.
Yeah, he did. Which is what I thought would happen. I don't think Cam served as well yesterday as he did earlier in the tournament, especially that match against Tiafoe. But it's been a great run. I mean, we shouldn't forget that before the French Open, there was a tournament in Geneva. He had to play the qualifying. So he's been able to turn his form around, because around that time he was just inside the world's top 100. So now he'll be back in the world's top 50. But anyone that's watched the 9 days of the championships, guys, will see that the top three are a level or two ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
Alcaraz.
So, Barry, people ask the question again. That's us, Brits all out of Wimbledon. Is there a problem then? Are we back to square one?
Well, at the start, we had 23 Brits in the main draw, and obviously the 3 women are all around the top 50. They'll all be pushing each other. But, I mean, for Jack Draper, there were a lot of hopes on Jack. He's ranked 4. If anyone had said a year ago he was going to come into this year's Wimbledon ranked 4, they wouldn't have been able to believe it. But as I spoke to you last week, I still feel he's got a lot of areas to improve. Jack talked about that. And
grass is not his favourite, Barry, is it? Grass is not his favourite.
which is true. People think, well, he's 6'4", he's left-handed, so grass must be his best surface. But actually, it's probably a slowish hard court where he gets a little bit more time, and the ball shoots through, obviously, a lot more on grass.
Barry, you know the line call problems. Is there an argument to say in the finals, because we can't have it in the final going wrong, is there an argument to say they put line judges back in? Because the actual system's not 100% proof.
Well, I guess that's like saying a European Champions League final, Dean, that you just scrap VAR for the final. They're not going to do that, are they? It's here to stay. I don't agree with it. I've said that from the start. I'm a traditionalist. I think there should be lines people for a number of reasons. And one of the main reasons, actually, as commentators, I find it really hard because you don't know at times whether the ball's in or out because the crowd strangles the noise that you hear from the automated line call. But what happened the other day was a bizarre one because we got obviously technology, but it was human error that failed. They didn't click the right boxes for those certain cameras to be operated on. But the Hawkeye system has been in use since 2006. The only difference this year is instead of obviously having the Hawkeye technology where the players can challenge, which I personally like. I don't know about you guys, but I actually liked the challenge system where the fans in the stadium are waiting for 5 seconds. Is it in or is it out? I thought that suspense worked.
Yeah. Barry, who wins the final? Look, Sinner's lucky to be there, isn't he? Very, very fortunate. The way Alcaraz is playing at the moment, he's going to take some stopping, isn't he?
I always felt in the bottom half, Alcaraz, I don't see Fritz upsetting Carlos. Fritz's record against the big three is not great. He's lost all 10 against Djokovic. He's lost 4 or 5 against Sinner. I think the top half's the interesting one. I mean, if we take Sinner's performance a couple of nights ago, then watch out for Ben Shelton. There is someone who
I like watching him play, smile on his face.
He's got charisma, hasn't he? And he's got an absolute cannon of a first serve. And we saw how Dimitrov was able to upset the rhythm of Sinner. I haven't thought for Sinner the whole tournament. One of the reasons why I didn't think Sinner at the start was that for me it was a bit of a red flag when he got rid of his trainer and his physio just before the tournament. I thought that's a bit strange, just before one of the most important tournaments. So the way it's looking, I do see an Alcaraz Djokovic final. That's what it looks like in the men's.
Barry, brilliant. We'll talk later. Thanks, you, Barry Cowan.
Okay.
Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Find everything you need for your landscaping project in stock and available for delivery. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, Chelsea fans, taking your calls this morning from your Club World Cup semi-final win yesterday evening. It's earning you 80 million quid already. What about that? And around 92 million if they win it. The number 03717223344. After Pedro's brilliant strikes yesterday, 2 crackers. Are you excited you might have found your number 9 for years to come? And are you title contenders next season? Jason Cundy, he's not convinced though.
Well, Chelsea should look at the money you spent. The reality is we don't feel like that team just yet.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Join the club and get low trade prices. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
He plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
To 7 o'clock, Dean Saunders with me. Some of the headlines you're waking up to this morning. Marcus Rashford reported back to training at Carrington, Man United, on Monday and Tuesday, despite being one of 5 players given extended leave to secure moves away from United. It was revealed just that Big Ange and Thomas Frank weren't too far away from completing a job swap. Frank headed to Spurs after they sacked the Aussie, and Brentford held talks with Ange but opted not to interview him. Ooh. Wales Euro 2025 team bus has been involved in a crash on the way to the training session at Arena St Gallen before the match against France. Fortunately, everyone was okay. Here's the boss, Rhian Wilkinson, giving an update last night.
Yeah, I think football is secondary, and I think, yes, we are shaken just because we don't know. We're away from the team right now, so they've had to experience that. But equally, we have great group, and I've been assured everyone's fine. You know, we've practiced for the unexpected. I think that's what we can call this. And yeah, football is secondary, but equally we'll check back in, make sure everyone is you know, in a good spot, and then we'll start working towards football again after that.
Oh, thank God for that. Don't forget you hear France against Wales live over on talkSPORT 2, 8 o'clock tonight. Right, Sam is back with us, and so is a certain Jofra Archer.
Exciting times, right? While England haven't officially confirmed their team for the test match tomorrow against India, third test at Lords, it's very much expected that after over 4 years, Jofra Archer is going to be back playing test match cricket for England, which is obviously fantastic to see. Just two really...
Bumrah.
But Bumrah's going to be back for India as well. The good news is we've got Archer back. The bad news is Bumrah's going to be back for India, which is not good. Just two really good pieces. One in the Times by John Westbury and one by Richard Gibson in the Mail. Real good in-depth reads on how England have planned meticulously the last couple of years to get Jofra Archer back really fit for this series against India, and of course leading up as well to the Ashes in a few months' time.
So today, right, let's imagine that India going to bat was tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow, yeah.
India going to bat.
Yeah.
It's going to be a heat wave. 30 odd degrees, right? So what bowling attack? The fast bowlers have got to work together, and they coming in spells of what, 3 or 4 overs each?
Yeah. 4 over bursts is a good shout, do you know? I think England are in a tricky position here because they've got Jofra Archer who they want to bring back, and one of the concerns around Archer is the lack of red ball games he's played for Sussex. In the build up to his test return, he's only played 1 first class game for Sussex and bowled 18 overs, and lots of people think that just isn't enough. He's maybe need to have played a couple of more games for Sussex, see if he can get through long spells playing for his county. Another tricky decision for England is they've got Gus Atkinson fit again as well. He's had a hamstring problem, but he hasn't played too much cricket as well over the past couple of months. So can you, in a test match in baking heat at Lords, bring both Archer and Atkinson into the same team. Welsh, Class and Tongue have been the three seamers so far in this series. All three of them have kind of struggled. I mean, India have poled on the runs, haven't they? Albeit granted on pretty flat wickets in good batting conditions. So I think if England could, they'd like to change all three bowlers out and bring Archer, Atkinson and possibly Sam Cook into the team. My gut tells me with Archer and Atkinson, it'll be one, not the other. Maybe bring Archer back and save Atkinson for the fourth test match.
When is the Ashes? Christmas? New Year?
Yeah, this winter. So November. I highly doubt I'll be there, unfortunately. We'll talk. We haven't got the rights to the Ashes, do we? Unfortunately. And
I was out there before, wasn't I?
Yeah,
I was
you
in
were.
Brisbane.
How did you manage to wangle that? Was it a big?
I was in Brisbane.
Did you go? And was that where you famously didn't watch much of the? Or you did go to some of the cricket?
No. I was sitting in there with the Barmy Army.
I was speaking to someone who was sat with you.
Yeah,
and they were sat with you having a pint, and he said, "You said to him, lads, I've got some news for you. I'm starting the show in 10 minutes."
What time would the show have been starting over there? Late evening, right? Early afternoon, right?
I don't remember. Afternoon, I think.
You must have been in your absolute element, right? I mean, don't have to wake up early. Go enjoy the cricket, have a few drinks, and then go and do a breakfast show, right?
It was Castlemaine. There was like 2% or something. It was like,
that's not doing it for you.
Yeah, nah.
Sam, can I ask you something about the cricket again?
Yeah, of course.
So obviously at Lords, if it's boiling hot, you got a bat. If it's cloudy, you stick them in, don't you?
Well, it's not going to be cloudy, is it?
It's not going to be cloudy. So is the toss vital to the match?
Well, Ben Stokes has controversially bowled twice in the first two test matches. First one, England ended up winning. He ended up bowling in the last one. England ended up getting absolute hammering. So you're right. If you look up and it's cloudy, that's bowling conditions. It's going to be sunny. Now, from what I've seen on social media, it looks like there's going to be a lot more grass in the wicket. I think England have wanted it to be a little bit more in the surface for the fast bowlers. And I think, by the way, from a series point of view, that's bang on. Bats dominated ball for pretty much the whole of this series so far. We've seen big scores and big totals. So I'm all in favour of a bit more grass on the wicket, for a little bit more in it for the bowlers. So then you're in a bit of a tricky situation if you get there and look up and it's blue and sunny, and you look down and there's a little bit of grass on the wicket. I think if England get there and the sun's shining, given what happened in the last test match, bowling first, and India scoring close to 600 runs, I think Ben Stokes will have a bat first. Balls, I'll tell you what, I bet if that happens, by the way, and it's green down and it's blue skies up, I think Ben Stokes will want to lose the toss tomorrow and let Shubman Gill make his decision. And then nobody can spend 5 days having out Ben Stokes for bowling or batting first.
Talking about Geoffrey Archer, his coach Paul Fairbrass at Sussex will join us at 7:30 tomorrow. Tell us just how ready Archer is to return to the national side.
Brilliant guest. And also he's been somebody, by the way, that's in the build up to this test match been saying be careful with Joffre. You've got to manage his minutes, so he'll be fantastic tomorrow.
Coming up, did Joao Pedro prove last night he is the answer to Chelsea's ongoing striker issues? We'll discuss that next. Thanks, Sam. 3 minutes to 7.
Well, Joao Pedro didn't even play for Chelsea at the start of this Club World Cup, but largely thanks to him, on Sunday, they'll be in the final.
Neto swings across into the penalty area, cleared by Thiago Silva, and curled in superbly by Joao Pedro. What a way to open his Chelsea account. No celebration from the former Fluminense player, but that was a special goal, curling in, an absolute beauty.
And if you thought that was good, his second one was even better.
It's a good ball, wide towards Joao Pedro, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's shown the inside, he takes the route, and he hammers the ball home in majestic fashion. Joao Pedro with his second against his boyhood club. The first finish was emphatic, the second was absolutely devastating. It's Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2.
Enzo Maresca's side will play either PSG or Real Madrid in Sunday's final. They play each other live on talkSPORT tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. From the blue lines to the red ones, Itoje's called his squad too tippy-tappy and is promising that they'll be more direct ahead of their first test, following criticism of their intricate play so far this tour. Coach Johnny Sexton's been defending their attack ahead of the Brumbies this morning.
Our cohesion has been pretty impressive. I think that Andy's done a great job with that and the other coaches, and every time you play in the jersey it means a lot and it's remembered. You know, I remember what happened 12 years ago, I remember what happened 24 years ago, and you know, so these games stick in people's memories despite it not being as important as the test.
Listen to live commentary of that game at 10 a.m. as well as every other match on tour, exclusively live of course. Meanwhile, it's that part of Wimbledon where us Brits have to decide which players to follow. Now all of our hopefuls are out. Cam Norrie was the last man to fall as Carlos Alcaraz sets up a semi-final with Taylor Fritz. Here is Norrie.
He is the favourite for sure. I think I was missing a little bit more because I was pressing a bit more than usual. But I think that's credit to him, his physicality, his movement and his power.
Get more reaction from the latest results at SW19 on our daily Wimbledon unfiltered YouTube show with former finalist and bad man Nick Kyrgios.
Okay, coming up to 4 minutes past 7 o'clock, Dino's with me on the way for you this morning. We're going to ask 2022 Wimbledon runner-up Nick Kyrgios of electronic line calling, has it been worse for tennis than VAR has been for football? Former Lion Gordon Darcy would tell us exactly which players he thinks are under the most pressure in the game against the Brumbies, live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2 this morning. 10 o'clock start, 11 o'clock kick-off, so our coverage starts from 10. Now though, have Chelsea, very interesting, have Chelsea now finally found a new number 9?
By Joao Pedro. What a way to open his Chelsea account.
My dream always was to play for a big club, to win trophies. The Chelsea, they have a great team. young team, and I think that's why I came here.
He does well for 2 years there at Real Madrid, at Barcelona. They'll come knocking.
I'm not quite sure if he takes Chelsea to the next level.
Where's he play?
I think
What is he, a 10?
I think he's a 10 off the left. More for the, I mean, he can play striker.
Joao Pedro, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's shown the inside. He takes the route and he hammers the ball home in majestic fashion. Joao Pedro with his second.
I don't think it's a sign that's made me go, wow. Where's he going to play? Not sure he's an out-and-out centre forward.
I would say striker. I like to play number 9. This link up, this combination with the teammates, I think will be good for Chelsea.
Portuguese.
No, he's Brazilian.
What a goal. 2 great goals there. So Joao Pedro is the 19th forward to have signed for Chelsea under their American owners, who have now spent 600 million on attacking players since taking control of the club in 2022. With Liam Delap suspended last night, he was handed his first start for the Blues and he scored both goals in a 2-0 win over Fluminense. Here's his boss, Enzo Maresca.
Very happy for Joao. We know that Joao is a very good player against teams that they defend deep, because he has quality to decide like today. I think another thing that is important about Joao is that he was on holiday, so probably it's a bit more fresh compared to the rest. So it's something that probably also is important to be aware of that. So happy for Joao, yeah.
Do you know who must be scratching his head at the moment? It's Nicholas Jackson. You know what's going to happen next season?
Well,
he'd be number 3 at the moment, wouldn't he?
We were just talking about this off air. What's your job? Like, did he just say he can defend deep? Did he just say that, or did I mishear him? He was talking about Pedro. Because all I'd want to hear from the manager is, get out there.
Yeah, get me 20 plus goals.
Go and score goals, and then when we lose it, work your socks off to get it back for us. And if you can drop in their deep line midfield player and stop him getting the ball and keep the ball going one side of the pitch, that's your job. That's it. See you tomorrow.
You mentioned a player there who worked his socks off, Beardsley. He used to close and close and close and close, try and win it back.
Yeah, and football's not being reinvented. Peter Beardsley was like, if he was playing now, he's a number 10.
Yeah.
Who floats in between the lines.
Yeah.
And the wide players coming in off the lines. You could even go back as far as Sammy Lee and Ray Kennedy at Liverpool. They used to come inside, and Phil Neal and Alan Kennedy used to go overlapping fullbacks. So all these positions, I mean, I heard Benty saying there he's a 10 off the left. Oh, what's that? A number 10 off the left. He's either number 10, playing just behind the striker like Kenny Dalglish used to do with Ian Rush, or he's a left-sider like Salah, or right or left-sider.
You can play inside right as well, can't you, as a number 10?
Yeah, but the man at the top, Haaland, who's on the end of the moves, that's why you call it a finisher. You finish the move off. You've got to be in the right place to finish the good play off the team does. And you've got to enjoy doing that. Ian Rush did not care if he didn't touch the ball. All he was interested in was getting on the end of things.
Haaland's like that.
Yeah. And that's their role. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. It's not being bred into young strikers now. It's been bred into them to play like Firmino, coming short and joining in, linking up. The wide players running in behind you. It's a different style of football, but we've definitely lost.
At times Tottenham, you see Harry Kane do that. Come really deep and get the ball to try and get involved in the game.
Yeah, and we've had people criticising Haaland for not being involved in the game. Ian Rush used to do that every week.
Yeah.
Scored 360 goals.
Because he knew he was going to get chances.
That was his job. You know, it's been coached out of him with the system.
If Chelsea going and win this, and it's going to be difficult because you get Real Madrid, PSG, but if they won it, what's the impact? Will that have any impact, Chelsea challenging Liverpool for the title next season? If they win this World Club?
Well, I actually think for Chelsea is the only club to benefit from this. Obviously, financially, other clubs can benefit from the millions they're getting. But football-wise, I think Maresca he's had six more games now, and I think Chelsea lit the ground running. He needed it. He had that many players to sieve through and to work out what the problem is, and he's been able to do it in this tournament. And they've just found a striker. Nicholas Jackson, let's be honest, he's obviously not good enough. There's levels. That's why there's 5 leagues. But the strikers playing in League 2. Why are they not playing for Chelsea? They're not good enough. So you can go around the houses and say, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's not good enough.
Chelsea fans, love to hear from you. Have you shown in the Club World Cup that you're ready for a shot at the title? Are you Liverpool's closest challenge ahead of Arsenal and the likes of City? Or do performances in the competition not count for anything at all? Let's get more on this with Chelsea fan TV host Alex Harris. Alex, very good morning.
Morning, Alex.
Good morning. Good to be on.
Alex, have you enjoyed it so far, the Club World Cup?
I've loved it. Literally just flew back on Sunday from America. So the latest match against Fluminense, I didn't actually watch in the stadium. It's the first match I've watched from home. But it was good to see. And, you know, I echo what you've said in a lot of ways. I think Maresca needed the time from this tournament to just get the squad together and show that we can build something with this squad. I was the first person to say that I didn't trust Maresca. I didn't like Maresca. I didn't want Maresca. And when Pochettino got sacked, I was very upset. But he's proven a lot of people wrong. And not only did he get Champions League football, but he won the Conference League. If that doesn't earn the respect of Chelsea fans in order to just be open-minded, I don't know what does. And I think the Club World Cup is just an extra boost. So for me, I can't sit here and say I'm a big fan of him, because there's a lot of problems that we still see, like inverting right backs and, you know, sometimes playing players like Nkunku, who we thought had no future at Chelsea. It's a little bit difficult to understand some of those decisions. But, you know, when you look at the results, it's hard to argue against it.
What about in terms of the title next year? Would you say that Liverpool are still favourites, Alex? And are Chelsea in there as second or third favourites? Or do you still think maybe it's City, Arsenal, then Chelsea?
Well, City have spent loads of money, haven't they? I mean, the thing is, you kind of know what to expect from City. And even Arsenal, they'll be up there. But they're always up there. They never get it done. So maybe there is a conversation to be had about Chelsea being in the race. I would be happy with us just being in the conversation, to be honest with you, because as soon as it hit 2025, we went right off the rails. And it was just a downward trend. So if we can maintain our form for, you know, longer this year than we did last season, then I think that's a step in the right direction. Ultimately, though, I think what fans are going to be looking for is more consistency in terms of our style of play. It's not just about winning games. You know, you do have to win in a certain fashion. I believe that football, when it's played like Maresca wants to play and it doesn't go well, it's probably the worst football you can watch. But when it goes well, it's brilliant.
Two great goals, wasn't it, Alex? Two great goals.
Oh, it was lovely. And do you know what? I'll be honest. I didn't expect Joao Pedro to have an instant impact. I've honestly had no idea what to expect. And you look at him and you say, well, you got 10 goals last season. 5 of them were penalties. I don't really know what we're getting here that's worth £60 million, but you did know instantly that there's clearly something about the way he plays. It's not just about GA here. There's something about his style, his personality that the recruitment and Maresca clearly agree on. Because I do think Maresca is involved in these decisions. And he's a direct replacement for Joao Felix. I don't even think he's a replacement for Jackson. Although I will say this, I thought Jackson was shocking when he came on. He was rubbish. You could see the difference between Joao Pedro and Jackson straight away. Everything that Pedro did worked, and everything that Jackson did, everything he tried to do didn't. So polar opposites in that sense. But I wouldn't look to sell Jackson. I think he can still be a part of the team, but definitely not our number one striker as it stands.
Alex, I think what he's done really well is he's had too many players to deal with, right? So when you keep winning, the team sort of starts picking itself and you get a rhythm. And Chelsea now are starting to get a rhythm with the team selection and the starting lineup for the manager and the players. So the players who are not starting, they actually know, right, I'm not starting. I know I'm not going to be starting. I'm going to have to train well to get in that. Players out of the club, and games I think will help Chelsea get when the season starts. It's only a month away.
Not long, to be fair. It's not long at all. But I mean, the issue we had last season, and in previous seasons as well, to be fair, this isn't just Maresca. Like, he's had a lot of players, but a lot of players who just aren't good enough, right? So you've got a selection issue with players who aren't going to consistently perform. How do you pick who's going to start? You said it yourself. If they're not performing, how do you figure it out? And now we've got some players here who are stepping up. We've got a great midfield, arguably in terms of depth, one of the best in the league. I think it's hard to argue against that. Our defence is solid. We do need a little bit of cover for Cucurella on that left-hand side up top. We've now got cover with Delap and Joao Pedro, who can play in multiple positions. Don't think there's any arguments against Palmer. And Nkunku's good depth on paper, but it'll be interesting to see if he plays more on the wings. Obviously, Esteval, Jamie Gittins as well. So you're not going to struggle there. Well. The big weakness we have is the only thing that we could have easily solved, and we decided not to, was a goalkeeper. And we are still stuck with Robert Sanchez, who, by the way, is actually, by his standards, having a great tournament. But if you've been watching the games, an actual keeper of Chelsea level, if we were saying it was a great tournament, they'd be pulling off great saves, good distribution, all these different things, making life easy for their defenders. But it's the total opposite. You know, he's been pretty average, but I expect less from Sanchez. So if we are going to lose in the final, and I'm not sitting there saying we are, I don't think it will be anyone else other than Robert Sanchez, because every single game, I'm not saying there's a big mistake in there, but there's always something. It just keeps you on your toes and you think, I don't trust this guy. So that, for me, is the one big issue at Chelsea we need to solve.
Alex, I've got to move on. Thank you, Chelsea Fan TV host Alex Harris. Thank you. 03717 223344 is the number. Tony's called, a Chelsea fan. Tony, good morning.
Morning, Tony.
Good morning, gents. How are we?
Yeah, good, pal. Good. You've got to be happy at the moment, Tony, aren't you?
Very happy, yeah. He looked good last night, that lad, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. 2 great goals.
To be fair, it's the first time I've really ever watched him. You know, I've heard about him, but you can't beat that. 2 beautiful goals, which is what we've been missing, boys. Really.
Yeah.
You're looking good, though. The team's looking good.
Exciting, yeah. You know, like, just listening to there what Alex was saying, still worries me a little bit with Sanchez, but, you know, maybe he can turn the corner. Because we was up there last season, weren't we? And then it was goalkeeping errors, Jackson missing stuff, and all of a sudden we fell away, didn't we? But we were up there for a little while.
Nah, Tony, if I was you, I'd be excited about next season. I really would, mate. Right, I've got to move on. Tony, good luck. Coming up, the Lionesses take on the Dutch in a must-win game live on talkSPORT today, 5 p.m. If they lose today and go out of the Euros, just how bad could that be for the women's game? We'll discuss that next, eh?
plays that villain role very well now. It's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Okay, 7:21, talkSPORT Breakfast. Dino's with me now. It's winner bust for the Lionesses tonight, and it's live, of course, on talkSPORT.
Baltimore the shot, and France have scored again, and England are all over the place. And England's title defence begins with a damaging defeat in Zurich, and arguably their worst major tournament display under Serena Wiegmann.
Here's the harsh, stark reality. England lose to the Netherlands, live on talkSPORT. It's pretty much game over.
It's going to be an intense game. What we are occupied with is playing football, sticking together. It's a football game. The approach is the same because we go out there and we want to win that game.
It is Alessio Rousseau who scores! Chance for the shot, and it's a goal! And it's Lauren Hemp who scores! Back towards Ella Toon! Finds the top corner! Stanway! What a strike from Georgia Stanway! Forced to Kelly inside the box, and she pokes it home off the goalkeeper and in! All eyes on what realistically are two must-win group games to come.
So, Dino, I didn't see the first game, but the England coach was very angry about the way they tried to play out from the back. She says, don't do it. And they disagreed with her, they disobeyed her, and it cost them.
I wouldn't go disobey that far, but she, you could, just reading between the lines, she's obviously told them, like, do not fall for the trap that France are going to set us by rolling balls into the middle of midfield, because they're setting traps. They're really good at it. They've got quick wingers as well. So if we lose it, they're in the gaps between the centre halves who are split. So don't fall for it, but they did. And it could have been more. And you could tell how angry she was after the game. All's not well in that camp, I don't think. There are a few players pulling out. Millie Bright pulled out. A few other players retired right before the tournament. And they've got good players, but I think they'll beat the Dutch. I watched the Dutch playing Wales.
But they've not got players play for Man City.
Yeah, they've got 3 or 4. They've got some really good players. Centre forward's really good. Wales play France tonight. So just before half time, it was 0-0 with Wales. They put up a good show, Wales, and then they scored 3 goals, and that was the end of the game. So tonight it's 2 big games, but big game for England tonight. They can't afford to lose this one. They're out.
Join us now to look ahead to tonight's game. Former Lioness and talkSPORT co-commentator for the tournament, Tash Dowie. Tash, a very good morning.
Morning, Tash.
Good morning, guys.
Tash, how do you see this one going then? The Dutch, they're a decent side, aren't they? So this is not going to be easy for England.
No, it's going to be really tough. It's hard to say. If England play the way they did against France, they're going home. The Dutch are too good. They're in a really good moment. I think they've got some world-class players within the team. However, if it's the England that won the European Championships, then I think they win this game. So England at the moment have been very hit and miss. It's hard to tell which England's going to turn up, but normally after they lose a game, they respond really well, and I'm hoping that's the case tonight.
Will she change much, Serena? Will she make 1 or 2 changes, or maybe 3 or 4?
I would love to see changes. What I would love, I don't think Serena's going to do. I would love to go 4-4-2, get a Beaver Jones up there supporting a Russo, but I don't see that happening. I think Serena will stay with the 4-3-3. Potentially a Charles will come in for Carter. She really struggled in the last game. Maybe a Chloe Kelly in for a Beth Mead, a Clinton to show a bit of aggressiveness. I think they need that. They need more bite in this team. When you look at Van der Donk, a Palova, a Jill Roord, they're aggressive players. They like to fight. And actually in the press conference the other day, the manager was saying how they're more feisty than England. So England need to fight. And they said going back to the old England way, Georgia Stanway, tough tackles, that's what they need to show tonight.
Tash, obviously some of the experienced players, big name players, haven't produced. And there's been a bit of criticism for Serena that she's refused to take them off when she could have taken them off and put the youngsters on. I get the feeling all's not well in the camp.
It's hard, isn't it? England has been so smooth for so long, reaching finals, winning European championships. And when there was a lot of talk, obviously, with Millie Bright and her injury and then what was going on behind the scenes, Mary Earps, Fran Kirby retiring for their own reasons, it definitely did distract from the camp. And then you can say it's one game. Was it a bad game for players? I think this is the industry that we're in now where women's football is getting a lot more criticism and fairly due right. That's the way we want the game to go. But I think for every player, it was a really poor performance the other night. And, we're just going to say it's a bad game at the office, but they can't afford to do that anymore. And I think the frustrating thing is, I think you're spot on there with Serena. She's very loyal to players. And that's great. You want to feel that loyalty. But also, I feel like there's a few players in this team that may be a little bit complacent, don't have that competition that maybe I feel they need. And then the likes of a Beaver Jones, I don't know what more she can do to get game time. And that must be frustrating for players, knowing they deserve to be on that pitch and they're not getting the game time.
Wales have had a far from ideal prep for their game against France, involving a bus crash on their way to the pre-match press conference, Tash, but no one was hurt, thank God.
Yeah, really tough. I think Rhiannon Wilkinson has handled it so well. I love listening to her speak. I think she comes across really well. She said, look, it's okay. They've had a good training session the day before, so they're in a good place. Everyone's okay, which is the most important thing, but it's not ideal. They got beat heavily in the first game. Preparation then would be affected going into this France game. But I think no one expects anything from Wales. No one did coming into the tournament, but they'll still, want to give everything. It's their debut tournament for some of these players, probably their first and last ever major tournament, like a Jess Fishlock, for instance. So, everyone expects France to win, and that probably is going to be the outcome. But Wales and what they're like, they'll give absolutely everything.
Tash, enjoy the game. Thank you very much. Speak later. Tash Dowie there. Right, coverage of England versus Serena's native Netherlands gets underway at 4 p.m. live on talkSPORT. Kick off at 5. You can have your say after the final whistle on the full-time phone with Dan and Ben and ex-England midfielder Jordan Nobbs from 7. Wales and France is live over on talkSPORT 2. Coming Up the Lines is live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2. Coverage starting at 10 a.m, don't forget, with the game kicking off at 11. So make sure you tune in at work, but we discuss next which players still need to prove themselves to head coach Andy Farrell.
Well, Joao Pedro didn't even play for Chelsea at the start of this Club World Cup, but largely thanks to him, on Sunday, they'll be in the final.
A good ball, wide towards Joao Pedro, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's shown the inside, he takes the route, and he hammers the ball home in majestic fashion. Joao Pedro with his second against his boyhood club. The first finish was emphatic, the second was absolutely devastating. It's Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2.
From the blue lines to the red ones, Itoje's called his squad too tippy-tappy and is promising that they'll be more direct ahead of their first test, following criticism of their intricate play so far this tour. Coach Johnny Sexton's been defending their attack ahead of the Brumbies this morning.
Our cohesion has been pretty impressive. I think that Andy's done a great job with that and the other coaches, and every time you play in the jersey it means a lot and it's remembered. You know, I remember what happened 12 years ago, I remember what happened 24 years ago, and you know, so these games stick in people's memories despite it not being as important as the test.
Meanwhile, it's that part of Wimbledon where us Brits have to decide which players to follow. Now all of our hopefuls are out. Cam Norrie was the last man to fall as Carlos Alcaraz sets up a semi-final with Taylor Fritz. Here is Norrie.
He is the favourite for sure. I think I was missing a little bit more because I was pressing a bit more than usual. But I think that's credit to him, his physicality, his movement and his power.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Build your own car deal online, all with a few clicks. They make buying your next car easy. Dino's with me now. A big season ahead for Newcastle United as they're once again trying to balance league football with Champions League football. You think some additions would be needed this summer as a big squad is necessary to combat all the football. Simon Jordan was speaking yesterday on what the next step is for Newcastle United.
There's lots of challenges this year. We don't know what Man City are going to do. We don't know what the tragic events at Liverpool are going to do to impact upon that football team, because it will have an impact. And we don't know whether Arsenal, it's all well and good Arsenal saying, oh, we're going to buy Zubimendi and we're going to buy Gyökeres. They've still got to incorporate them. By buying a centre forward, you know, Arsenal have got to play a different way than they've played before. So it's not given the question that you put to Keown yesterday, do they expect to win the league? So Newcastle, do we really think that Newcastle are going to finish in front of any of these sides? It's a difficult question to answer. So what is the next level? FA Cup? Because they're not going to. I'd be gobsmacked if Newcastle win the Champions League next year. It's not beyond the wit of man. So if they have a nice season in the Champions League but don't win it, they might retain the League Cup. They might win an FA Cup. What's the next level for Newcastle? Stabilising in the Champions League spots?
I think so, Dino. I think if Newcastle can, be up there again in amongst the big boys and qualify for Europe, I think it's another good season.
Strange what's going on there, I think, because...
In what way?
They got the richest owners in the world.
Yeah.
And can't spend it. So they're shopping. Then Newcastle are not shopping in Harrods. Every player Newcastle sign, they should be able to get in PSG's team. Really, they got the money to do it, but this balancing the books up is killing them. I still don't understand it all. No, he's done well, Eddie. He's building them slowly. They're getting better every year. But Isaac will be thinking, at some point, who else is signing them? Because I want to win the Champions League. Well, he's
rapid, we know.
Do you know
Gordon down one side, Alanga down the other.
It's a disaster for Man United. They've let him go for 10 million, 15 million, something like that. Forest have sold him, and they signed Anthony to replace him for all that money. He's worth 20 million now. disaster, but he's done great at Forest. Did you see how quick he is?
Oh,
he done the 100 metres in 10.39.
Did he really?
Something like that, yeah.
Wow.
You know,
that's seriously fast.
He's so that'll put him about 5 yards behind Usain Bolt in a race.
Wow. Amazing.
So rapid, and he's got a good attitude. He's putting pictures of himself training in Portugal, getting quicker. He's direct, works hard, scores goals, makes goals. Brilliant.
Time now to get an update on the rugby. Here we go in partnership with Tenor Men.
Qatar Airways Lions Tour Roundup on talkSPORT with coverage sponsored by Tenor Men. Upgrade your protection with Tenor Men. Find out more at tenormen.co.uk.
So the Lions continue the tour down under with a tough trip to the capitals. They take on the Brumbies in Canberra today, and it's live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2.
We get into the business part of this one, folks. Jameson Gibson Park picks, goes round the edge, gives to Maro. It's O'Shea who gets over the line.
See great players performing well, and it gives you extra motivation.
Mac Hansen returns it back in field, and Gary Ringrose will score for the Lions.
You can never take for granted winning on these tours.
It's a fascinating psychological thing about tour life, especially when you've got players from different nations who ultimately all want the same goal, which is to be a Test Lion.
You have to stay open-minded, otherwise a closed book is not good for anyone.
He will offload to Mitchell. They feint right, go left. Alex Mitchell with another feint and scores the try.
Obviously, this can be a great opposition.
The Brumbies have done brilliantly. Tom Wright has it. Looking to link up on the outside. He might go himself. Oh, that's outstanding.
But for us, it's testing how we're going to get better, trying to implement our game.
This is the tour now. It's not yet to come. This is it now. This is the present.
If we play well, that'll help the team, but the team has to win. You talk about personal performances and players stepping up, but you know the team has to keep winning.
So the big question, is this the game going to tell us exactly what to expect from the first test? Is this the team we'll see, or mainly against the Aussies in that first test match? To give us more, let's bring in two-time former British and Irish Lion Gordon Darcy. Gordon, a very good morning.
Morning, Gordon.
Good morning, guys.
Gordon, what do you reckon so far? You know, like the Aussies struggled to overcome Fiji, but done it. A physical game, which I still don't understand why they picked that game. But anyway, and the Lions, last time out, not super impressive, but this is the big stuff now. The Brumbies are probably their toughest competition so far. And do you think we'll see the main bulk of the team to start against the Aussies in the first test?
Yeah, I think you've covered all the main points there. We could probably just wrap it. That's pretty much the whole summary done. You've done my job for me. Yeah, like I think you start with Australia, Fiji. Like Fiji are a very, very tough international side, and they wanted a test match environment, so they very much got that. Unfortunately, they got a few injuries off the back of it. But like, listen, I know Joe Schmidt inside out, and they will be better for that hit out. The Lions, yeah, things didn't go to plan against the Waratahs, but I think it was an informative performance as well, because it showed players who are capable of playing like well in a team that's not playing well. Alex Mitchell, a perfect example. I thought he took the game by the scruff of the neck. Blair Kinghorn, his first involvement, he did well in that. So players who played well on the back foot, that's really, really that's an important currency to have on a Lions tour. And now you're moving forward to today against the Brumbies. Brumbies, yeah, still without a lot of their important players, so they won't be the same team that they were. But yeah, it definitely looks like this is 75% of the test match squad between the starting 15 and the eight subs.
Gordon, we're not experts, as you can tell, at rugby, but one thing I did pick up was that the criticism in the last game was they got into the opposition's last 20 odd times and never turned it into points, and there were some handling errors. What will he do in training to put that right?
Yeah, I think a big part of the Lions tour is getting the right people on the pitch, and that in itself is probably the best way to solve that problem when you're getting into those scoring opportunities. So you look at the team that he's picked now. You've got Gibson Park, you've got Finn Russell, mentioned Blair Kinghorn, Jack Conan, Mario Toje. These guys, your expectation for them is that they make better decisions in those scoring opportunities, and they turn pressure into turn pressure into points, because this isn't a test match. This isn't a test international team where you can spend time on the small details. The expectation is that you're good enough at those small details at this level. You're the best of four countries. You have to rely on a high quality of picking the guys on form. And one of the sound bites sticks out for me there, just in relation to this, from Andy Farrar, was he was there. I can't be a closed book on this. I have to be an open book, and to me, that's very much around selection.
What about weaknesses you've spotted so far, Gordon? Line out, are they good enough in the line out the lines?
Yeah, I think that there's a pragmatism maybe to the Lions. So Scott Cummings, had a decent outing at the set piece, and this is probably the frustration with the Lions. The set piece probably went well against the Waratahs, but the rest of the performance dropped. So the challenge for them is getting that mix of two. But this is probably the first time we've seen a Test match tight five go out together. So it will be very informative rather than trying to predict how they're going to go. It'll be very informative to see how the set piece goes with this tight five, because you've got McCarthy, you've got Toje in the engine room, you've got Genge, you've got Sheehan, you've got the firepower up front. So you really want to see them get parity in the set piece, get quality set piece, and then see how the overall performance comes from it.
But you think Gibson Park and Finn Russell, they're the key when Lions have possession?
I think it has to be. I think you look at, say, and there's probably no disrespect to Finn Smith, he's probably a little bit more structured in how he plays the game, and that hasn't really fired for him. And that might be partly to do with partnerships and the teams and the matches he's gotten. But Finn Russell, as soon as he got on the pitch, he just makes things happen. So I think the players that they have around him, particularly so Gibson Park and Finn Russell, it's hard to see how they're not starting Test match, how they're not starting 9 and 10.
So, Gordon, you think this would be a good win for the Lions against the Brumbies, or an understrength Brumbies?
Listen, we said that on Saturday, that it was somewhat of a fait accompli for the Lions. So there will be one of the hard things to manage on a Lions is that confidence and how you're rolling into games, and we'll get a good barometer of how much the Waratahs' performance impacts this group today. So I think a couple of pundits have been out, and a couple of the players have trying to put pressure on themselves to deliver a statement performance. I don't think it has to be a complete performance, but I do think you need a strong start and a good look at those nuts and bolts pieces that haven't been going well on tour. They've had plenty of time now together in the context of a Lions tour to try and fix them. So the set piece and scoring in those 22s, they'll be the bits they'll be looking at fairly intensely today.
Gordon, we look forward to it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you, Gordon. Gordon Darcy, let's face it, you don't want to be at work today, do you? It's going to be beautiful as well. Here's how you can get through that morning slog. Sneak a headphone in, turn up the volume, listen to every crunching tackle and soaring tries. The Lions face the Brumbies in what will be the toughest warm-up yet, live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2. Gordon, you said it won't be the strongest Brumbies, so that's good news. That was thanks to Tenor Men. Coming up, could John McGinn be on his way to Everton? That's the rumour we're hearing. That's coming next.
Qatar Airways Lions Tour Roundup on talkSPORT with coverage sponsored by Tenor Men. Upgrade your protection with Tenor Men. Find out more at tenormen.co.uk.
plays that villain role very well now. It's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
This is talkSPORT Breakfast. Dean Saunders with me. So, a story in The Sun this morning. Coldplay, despite selling over 100 million albums, are officially boring. Oh dear. According to a music expert, they become less harmonically daring, suggesting the new songs sound just like the old ones. Dean, are you bored when you listen to Coldplay? And by the way, I have said that in the past, but I then watched them. Where were they in concert? Was it Glastonbury last year? Or they played a concert and they were sensational. They were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I thought, I've got that wrong.
No, they get some stick. I've heard this before. You know, that they're boring and depressing songs, but I think they're unbelievable band. Chris Martin, brilliant singer. And if you put it alongside football, they'd be in the Champions League every year. Coldplay in concert.
Yeah.
If you go and watch them in concert, I bet you don't say they're boring then.
Well, I must admit they were brilliant in this concert. Yeah, but when I hear the records, I'm like, oh, come on, you know.
I like all the
ramp
records.
it up a bit.
No, they're all good. I think they're, from youngsters, 10-year-olds to 70-year-olds, everybody likes Coldplay. Well, I'm saying that. The switchboards are light up now, agreeing with you.
Well, we'll see. Listen, good luck to them. 100 million records, think they care. Time now for a bit of this at 7:50.
Stick a load of singles in there and then they fall in love.
Of course it's hard. It's supposed to be hard.
A 36-year-old, you'll have the knockers, you will.
Just because it's offering its teat, do I really have to muscle on that?
Is there anything in your personal life that could be causing you stress, sir?
I'm not a great lover.
Hello, oh, what's your name?
Sarah Louise.
Sarah Louise, fuck, you're up for it, aren't you?
I was in love at the time, that's what I was doing.
At the time?
Oh, yes. Cold Sam is back with us for yet another edition. Do you think Coldplay are boring?
Coldplay are unbelievable. How can you sell that many albums? You said, what, 100 million albums? Yeah. And people are saying they're boring. If you think
I'm just telling you it's in The Sun this morning.
If anybody thinks Coldplay is boring, get a life. They are unbelievable live. I love Coldplay.
Sam, I'm not saying you're boring, right?
Well,
I'm not saying that, but I've sold my 2 daughters in the 30s. They're still not married. And I put you forward. I put your name forward.
Did you?
I have, yeah. And it's not. I said he's still single. It's not because he's boring.
No,
he's
definitely.
good looking.
Oh, thank you.
And them injections are working.
Whoa, I'm not on the injections. That's back out of order. I am not on the injections.
Before you go on about that, we've got to be careful what we say here. Because Dino mentioned Jamie O'Hara. Now that is. How do you know that?
What? No, he's having. I don't. What do they call him? What do you call them?
I don't
injections?
know.
Like Odemic or something like that.
I've no idea.
Something like that. People be shouting. Epidemic, not Odemic.
Jamie doesn't need them, does he?
I'm not saying he's on them. But he's definitely losing weight. Everybody's on him.
He's grafting hard in the gym, O'Hara.
Crazy Dave, the sports bar, 5 stone he's lost.
Has he?
Yeah.
5 stone?
5 stone, yeah.
Who?
Crazy Dave.
Why'd you call him crazy?
Because he is crazy.
What does he do that's crazy?
It's like boring Sam, Crazy Dave.
Apparently, I've spoke to a couple of people who are on them, who are on them injections, and they say you just lose your appetite completely. And if you eat something, you feel sick.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we do Transfer Tinder?
Okay, Super
Transfer
Single
Tinder?
Sam is back with another edition of Transfer Tinder. Here we go.
Okay, let's see who we got first up on Tinder. It's John McGinn to Everton, age 30, height 5'10", position midfielder, traditional, old-fashioned values, good leadership skills, solid, reliable, dependable, good fun on a night out, but knows when to call it a night. Birmingham may be his current home and the home of chocolate, but a move to the Toffees could be sweet. But will he feel he could do better? John McGinn to Everton, swipe right or swipe left?
That's why you're single. Reading all that out. Boring. No, I'm joking.
That was
I'm joking.
Are we swiping right or are we swiping left?
For Everton, a brilliant signing. I hope he doesn't leave Aston Villa.
No, yeah, I agree. For Everton, I think Moisey's had a quiet word. And I think it'd be a big asset to Everton.
Aston Villa should not sell him. He's the captain, one of the best players. That would be it'd be a bizarre.
How do I say this? I almost said that maybe they're looking for a bit more classier player. John's a worker, gives his 100% every time, doesn't he? You know, and he's been a great servant, but maybe he wants to move on at his age now.
But he's got infectious enthusiasm.
Oh, for sure.
That's what he brings to the table. Number one, and also when the ball's rolled into him in midfield, you can't get the ball off him.
Oh, the way he shields the ball, it's absolutely fantastic.
What else we got?
What else have we got? Next up on Transfer Tinder, we've got Jamie Vardy. This is to Manchester United, age 38, height 5'10". He is a striker. There we go. You can see on YouTube a Tinder profile for Jamie Vardy. Very clever. Can guarantee for a long time he was seen as a fox. Now he's perhaps more of a golden oldie, but one thing's for sure, he's got plenty to offer. Can guarantee a great party, goals, and annoying your defence. May not be able to last the pace these days, but still has some magic in those old boots.
And they could go up and stay with the Roonies, couldn't they? You would have to buy a house.
I'm not sure they're going to. Colleen and Rebecca reunited, yeah.
For me, Jamie Vardy, centre forwards don't think like other players, right? And it's a dying art. Jamie Vardy knows where to go when the ball's in the box. If you put the ball in the box for him or slide through balls, he sets off running before everybody else. And he can teach Holland, so I'm going to swipe left. Is it right?
Left is no, right is yes.
I think United fans would be like, what? I don't think it'd be a popular choice.
No, I think they want that
because of his age.
I
love him a bit. It's the way he's come up through the ranks.
Yeah,
from lower divisions, and he's
the story's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he's still got his pace.
He's better than what they've got.
But I don't think United. I think he'd be under pressure really from day one.
Do you not think when Jamie Vardy, when he does retire,
I'd say no.
When he does retire from football, Jamie Vardy in talkSPORT is just a match made in heaven, isn't it?
And talkSPORT.
Yeah, Vardy on top. I just think he's got that character, he's got that enthusiasm, he's got that energy, he's got stories.
He doesn't talk a lot, does he?
Well, no, but then
how's he going to do talkSPORT then?
No, he'll come out of his shell when alongside you, Al. He'll come out of his shell. You'll bring the best out of Jamie Vardy, no?
Hey, move on.
Oh, that's a no then, isn't it? Jamie Vardy to talkSPORT. Next up, Marcus Rashford, and this is back to Manchester United. Age 27, height 6'1", forward, winger, striker, whatever you want. He's in an on-off relationship with his current club, flirted with the exit door on many occasions, and seems interested in the high life of Catalonia. I bet he does, but now seems prepared to stick with his current partner. But will he be accepted by the United fan base once again, or will he be left out of the family WhatsApp group?
Left out of the family WhatsApp group.
I'm getting fed up of his name getting mentioned, and we criticising him. And what he's going to end up like Dele Alli if he's not careful. He's going to chuck his career away. He's got to get playing, and
I agree,
and put everything else. Football is the most important thing in your life. I'm not sure it is at the minute for Marcus. I think he comes about fifth after other things he's doing. Comes about fifth. He needs to get his career back on track. We know he can play, but he needs a team that's going to start him every week.
I'm with Dino here.
What are you laughing at?
Right.
Swipe right.
Sam is getting hammered. Swipe right. Swipe left. You mean?
Swipe left is no. Are you not on Tinder?
No.
Swipe left. Sam's getting hammered on the text. He's Coldplay love. Big Jim says Sam needs to get a life.
No, I don't need to get a life.
Tim says Sam's loving Coldplay explains why he doesn't have a girlfriend.
How does that make any sense, Tim?
Right, still to come on talkSPORT Breakfast. I agree with him.
On
talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. From excavators to skips or cement mixers to pressure washers, Travis Perkins Hire has all your landscaping needs covered.
Yeah, literally. Well, I can't hold it long.
So don't miss the best quiz on radio, simply the best, as Dino takes on his Wales buddy John Hartson. Fair to say the standard hasn't been very high recently. Tapas dish that consists of mini cubed potatoes.
Paella.
No!
Which pink bird is often seen standing on only one leg?
Peacock.
Japan. I always SHABBERN.
It is Numpty City here. Next, though, we're talking Chelsea into the first ever expanded FIFA Cup World Cup final. We'll ask 2000 FA Cup winner Mario Melstro whether it can be the springboard to bigger prizes next season for Chelsea, or if it's just knacking them out of it. That was a look ahead with Travis Perkins Hire.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. It's easy to hire at Travis Perkins with a Travis Perkins trade account.
Well, Joao Pedro didn't even play for Chelsea at the start of this Club World Cup, but largely thanks to him, on Sunday, they'll be in the final.
Neto swings across into the penalty area, cleared by Thiago Silva, and curled in superbly by Joao Pedro. What a way to open his Chelsea account. No celebration from the former Fluminense player, but that was a special goal, curling in, an absolute beauty.
And if you thought that was good, his second one was even better.
It's a good ball, wide towards Joao Pedro, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's shown the inside, he takes the route, and he hammers the ball home in majestic fashion. Joao Pedro with his second against his boyhood club. The first finish was emphatic, the second was absolutely devastating. It's Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2.
Enzo Maresca's side will play either PSG or Real Madrid in Sunday's final. They play each other live on talkSPORT tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. From the blue lines to the red ones, Itoje's called his squad too tippy-tappy and is promising that they'll be more direct ahead of their first test, following criticism of their intricate play so far this tour. Coach Johnny Sexton's been defending their attack ahead of the Brumbies this morning.
Our cohesion has been pretty impressive. I think that Andy's done a great job with that and the other coaches, and every time you play in the jersey it means a lot, and it's remembered. You know, I remember what happened 12 years ago, I remember what happened 24 years ago, and you know, so these games stick in people's memories despite it not being as important as the test.
Listen to live commentary of that game at 10 a.m. as well as every other match on tour, exclusively live of course. Meanwhile, it's that part of Wimbledon where us Brits have to decide which players to follow. Now all of our hopefuls are out. Cam Norrie was the last man to fall as Carlos Alcaraz sets up a semi-final with Taylor Fritz. Here is Norrie.
He is the favourite for sure. I think I was missing a little bit more because I was pressing a bit more than usual. But I think that's credit to him, his physicality, his movement and his power.
Get more reaction from the latest results at SW19 on our daily Wimbledon Unfiltered YouTube show with former finalist and bad man, Nick Kyrgios.
Good morning, 3 minutes after 8 o'clock. We'll come to Chelsea in a moment, Dino. Ali's in Portugal. Paolo's in Portugal. Dino, you're brilliant. You don't take holidays anymore, do you?
I've not only come off the bench, I was like one of the Man United 5, ostracised from training, and they brought me back from the dead. I'm back. Everyone's on holiday.
That's Barman Dave, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's a couple of them have got little parties out in America, and a couple have slipped over to America.
Troy's in America.
Yeah. Beatles Joe.
Yeah. What about Cundy and Jamie? Are they on holiday?
I don't know.
They're all on holiday. Andy Townsend's not. He was on yesterday.
Was he?
I was thinking today.
Do you think Super Sam needs a holiday because...
Sam?
Yeah, because he's getting pelters on emails here.
What?
Text.
Saying what? He's boring.
Coldplay. He's getting slaughtered.
Well... If there's two people stood at the bar and one of them's bored, the other one's Sam. No, only joking. If you lend him $5,000 and never seen him again, it's money well spent. Only joking, Sam. He's a great lad.
Well, he'll be out the door now.
He's a good catch, isn't he, for someone?
Do you reckon?
Well, he's on national radio every day.
Yeah, but he's worried.
Looks like John Travolta.
He frets all the time. How does he look? And do I look all right? He says, I've put a bit weight back on, and he non-stop worries.
Well, he's not far off Love Island, is he? He's not far off that. He's just like a week's training. He could fit into Love Island, and then he can take his shirt off with the lights on.
Oh, I'm not sure.
What?
No, I'm
Sam?
not sure.
Yeah,
no.
He's good looking, Sam, I think. Yeah.
No, I'm not sure. He's not Love Island material.
But do you know what I was thinking?
Fantasy Island material.
So I was thinking today, the British Lions game we're going to watch on the telly.
Yeah.
What drink goes with rugby?
Well, Guinness.
Guinness or not Whispering Angel?
No. The rugby's more bitter than lager, isn't it? Football's lager. It's more bitter.
Cricket?
Cricket is wine, Pimm's, champagne. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they'll all be popping the champagne down on the boundary.
Glorious Goodwood.
Oh, Glorious
champagne.
Goodwood is...
Whispering Angel.
Yeah, beautiful. And Pimm's, there's a lot of Pimm's bars down there. Glorious Goodwood's, but it's glorious.
Can you remember last year?
Down there.
Remember last year?
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
When the box next to the coral box that we were in, the woman was from Whispering Angel.
Yeah.
And she gave you a case of Whispering Angel.
I didn't get it.
You drunk 28 of them.
No, Steve-O had it all. There was a massive Magnum.
Oh, the Magnums, yeah.
Steve-O nicked
Forgot about that.
Steve-O nicked it. He's on holiday at the moment.
Is he?
Just preparing for Glorious Goodwood, yes.
Well, I hope I get invited again.
Well, I had some great news yesterday. I'm in the old Goodwood Hotel again. Brilliant.
Are you?
Yes.
You're not in that Chichester?
No.
That one in Chichester?
No. I think it's sold out, busy.
With what? Prisoners? Well, there's pigeons in the room. Remember? The prisoner. Was it Andy Townsend?
Yeah.
No, it was Carl Robinson checking in.
Yeah, and there was a guy in his bedroom.
There was two policemen with someone handcuffed checking in the hotel, the same hotel. Carl looked round the bloke, went, "Who are you looking at?" and then he
Carl's a big guy.
Yeah, and the lad got in the lift with the police, and when he got out the lift, Andy was there. He said, "What are you in for?" We're not in that hotel again, are we?
I think you are. Oh. Right, if you're like most people and have to work at a living and can't have a drink and watch a Latino, listen to it on talkSPORT 2. Just download the app and swipe between the stations. This should be a real good game, to be honest. The Lions against the Brumbies, and the Lions will have most of their side to take on the Aussies. I reckon will start this game, or maybe finish the game. Now, another job well done for Chelsea in New Jersey last night. It just was one game now, although it's not going to be easy from being crowned world champions.
Swings across into the penalty area, cleared by Thiago Silva, and curled in superbly by Joao Pedro. What a way to open his Chelsea account. No celebration from the former Fluminense player, but that was a special goal. Flicked on now by Cano into the penalty area, and here's an opportunity, but it's cleared off the line by Cucurella. Rene fires it in, appeals for handball inside the area, and it's a penalty.
I don't know where he's meant to put his arm.
No penalty, and that is VAR doing its job. Wide towards Joao Pedro, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's shown the inside, he takes the route, and he hammers the ball home in majestic fashion.
What a player, what a game, unbelievable.
And that is it, the full-time whistle goes, and Chelsea are 90 minutes away from potentially being world champions. Full-time, Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2.
So, Dino, I'm going to be complimentary with two great goals, two great finishes, brilliant. But from a manager's point of view, you're saying, look, you've seen what he's done with his first one, right foot, bent it. Show him outside on his left foot. What do they do? They show him inside and he smashes it home with his right foot again. That's poor defending.
Well, when you've been a manager,
if you want to be negative, it's poor defending.
Well, that's the way you look at things when you've been managing and coaching. You look at how could we have stopped that goal. You don't say great goal, which as a player you'd watch them two goals and you think two brilliant goals. But as a manager, I'm looking at that first one. He comes inside, right foot, top corner.
Yeah.
So you know he's done it. Second half, he's got the ball, he's picked it up. The right back's jockeying him. Keep him on his left foot. Keep him on his left foot. Whatever you do not let him come back inside on his right foot. Yeah. And he's let him come inside, and to be fair, it's a great finish. Yeah. But he shouldn't have the opportunity to shoot.
Absolutely, you're spot on. Well, let me just ask our next guest, and I'm sure he agrees with us. It was two great goals, two great finishes. John is now for more as the 2000 FA Cup winner with Chelsea, the Blues. Mario Melchior joins us. Mario, good morning.
Good morning,
Mario.
Guys. Good morning.
Where are you, Mario? Are you in Holland or are you in LA?
I'm in Amsterdam. I'm on holiday now, so I'm taking the family, around my family. I love it.
Lovely, and you're in for nice weather as well. Mario, I would imagine you see the goals last night. Would you agree, being a defender yourself, you know where he wants to be on that right foot. You show him outside on his left, surely.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, you guys already highlighted. I think before the game already starts, you should know what your striker's favorite foot is. You understand? I mean, Dean is there. I'm sure he's familiar with that. The first thing you look at, you understand? You look at a player and you say, okay, he's a righty or he's a lefty. Okay, when you know he's a righty, you show him the opposite of his strong foot. And they didn't do that. They allowed him, like you highlighted, the first goal, then the second one. You understand? Okay, the second one was maybe on a break, and then he coming at you, and what is it? I think it was like two defenders against two defenders against three attackers or four attackers. But this one, they had all the time to see, go at him and block that angle, but they left it open, and you could see his eyes. He was really pointing to that corner.
What are you excited, Mario, with this emerging Chelsea side? We know it's a big squad, a young squad. They've added one or two new faces. So, can they challenge next year?
Yeah, I mean, you can challenge. I think you can challenge. I would not, by myself, straight away pick Chelsea, you understand, to be challenging. But I think as a team that you invested so much in, you should think like that. And as a player, if I was part of that squad, I would be thinking like that too. But if you just realistically, you understand, they have to make steps forward. So they just got over the line to make it to the Champions League, for example. And now they have a new season. You don't want that to happen again. And then they were second in December, and then they dropped off. So those are all the kind of things that they have to look at and making sure that it doesn't happen and it doesn't repeat itself.
Mario, I'm looking. I think they're going to have a good season next season. Well, obviously they spent 1.3 billion, so they're trying to conquer the world with that amount of money. But I just think Jason Cundy's mentioned it a few times. When they get a punch on the chin, have they got enough experienced players that come in at half-time and say, lads, that's not right what we're doing. Let's start doing this and claw our way back into the game. Or they're a young squad, aren't they?
Yeah, they're definitely young. And I think some of the players, you need that, right? What you just highlighted. You need one of those bad boys in your team. And I mean, the characters of some, Caicedo, you understand? He's like survival, the warrior, you understand, in a team that if it really needs to matter, he knows how to put it down. You have, some of the other ones, you understand, like I give an example. Chalobah has some similarities sometimes as well. But you need someone that is consistently making sure that if things don't go the way it's supposed to be going, that he grabs you and say, let's go. It doesn't matter what. And that question is going to be tested. And you highlight it because they're young and they know it themselves as well. And I don't think they shy away from it. It's great that they're young because you clearly saw it yesterday. You could play with a high line because the forwards were older, Kano, what is he? He's 37 and Arias, he's 27. So they could play the high line because they knew they could handle the speed. But away from that, during the league, it's going to be very important because there are going to be days that you just have to win 1-0 or you win 2-1. You understand? Like just one goal difference, and it's going to be down to character.
Mario, what about... will you get a chance to pop down? I don't know if Ajax are back pre-season training yet. Will you get down to the club, to the training ground, see some old faces maybe?
I fortunate I bumped into the coach. They have a new coach, so I bumped into him and we had a chat. But me going to the club, I am not really the guy that likes to go to a lot of football clubs, where I played before. I like watching them and I keep tap on them. And sometimes when I have time, I go by. So the same is for Chelsea and when I'm in London. If I can, I will do it, but it's not like one of my things that I have to do.
No.
And Amsterdam is the same thing, because... Here, when you're in the city in Amsterdam, everybody supports that team. So the information will always get played to you, whoever you meet on the street.
Yeah, I've got to go over there. I've not been to Amsterdam for a while. I love it. I will go over there.
Oh, Al, you will be missed. If you don't come again, I'm telling you, look, there are cities in the world, but Amsterdam, you cannot miss out.
You can't ride a bike, Al. You got to get on a bike over there.
No, I love Amsterdam. I really do. It's not far from me.
Before you go, can I just ask, like Pedro, I mean, you spend 1.3 billion and you haven't got a world-class striker. Jackson's, I don't think he's world-class, but this boy, Pedro, do you think he can produce the goods next season?
Yeah, you know what I like about Pedro was his confidence. If you saw one of the first interviews that he had when he was a Chelsea player, you could see the smile and the confidence that he was boosting in himself and saying, like, I can do the job. Look, I think strikers, when they come to a team, it doesn't always have to be the name that banged in so many goals. Because when you come to a top team, you're going to get more opportunities. The key thing is going to be, are you going to be delivering it? He started off great. I mean, 2 goals straight away in his first start. It's amazing. And with the ones that you highlighted, look, when you are a Jackson, I always said it last season, I said competition is needed. They brought competition, Jackson, Pedro. Yeah, so those are the kind of things. And how can I forget his name? The key thing is that you have to make sure that everybody knows, even if you have competition, don't be scared of it. And don't get yourself in trouble. Don't do silly things so you get left out of the team. Make sure you compete because you need to compete. And I think that is going to be one of the key things. But can Pedro do it? Yeah, of course. It would be strange if I would say, like, no, he's not good enough for it and he's not capable of doing it. No, he can definitely do it. And like I didn't mention him, but we cannot miss him, is the lap, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Manu, before you go, just with the Netherlands for the the World Cup, do you think Netherlands are getting stronger now? You give them a chance next year?
The key thing for our country is sometimes it's about winning a trophy, and sometimes it doesn't have to be always that you have to play the most beautiful game. If we do we put them in balance and just make sure that we sometimes go for the win instead of always looking great, I think we got a great chance.
There you go. Mario, enjoy Amsterdam and have a great break, a great holiday. Thank you.
Thanks, Mario.
Thank you, guys.
There you go, Mario Melchior from LA to Amsterdam. What a life.
Brilliant player.
talkSPORT will bring you the Club World Cup final this Sunday, 8 p.m. this Sunday. Chelsea against the winner. What a game this will be. PSG against Real Madrid. The winners take on Chelsea. That second semi-final is live and exclusive on talkSPORT at 8 o'clock. Coming up, we finally have some good news for Wales.
He plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
we go. I can feel it coming. Anti-Welsh comments coming from Ollie, the producer, which he normally throws in.
Well,
What's coming next?
I've just read it. It's shocking.
Is it?
It's shocking.
Like last time I was in, it was like, what's Wales good at?
Well,
you know what I mean?
This is shocking.
Anti-Welsh.
Welcome to talkSPORT Breakfast, Alan Brazil and Dean Saunders. Well, why are we playing this? There may not be any Wales players starting for the Lions this morning live on talkSPORT 2, but the National Sheep Shearing Championship took place in Harrogate yesterday, and a 27-year-old Welshman broke a British record by shearing over 600 ewes in 8 hours, beating the previous record by more than 100. His 8-hour solo session in Wales saw him shear 663 ewes. What about that?
Well, he's been brought up with it.
What about that?
Obviously, he's done it all his life. He's known probably in the village.
Well, our very own sheep is on holiday at the moment. Time now for the very latest odds with Coral. And it's not it's not Shearer. I used
to get called a sheep shearer.
It's not the Shearer, Steve-O. It's Simon Clare.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for it. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
He doesn't know if he's English or Irish. Simon, morning.
Morning, Simon.
Good morning. Get your words out, Al.
Don't worry. I was very careful there.
Yes, you were very careful. But we should wish, Steve-O, congratulations for getting married on Monday. I wasn't invited. He only kept it quite small, just his closest 200 friends and family attended.
We never thought it was going to happen, did we?
How can he not invite you, Simon?
I know. Thank you, Dino. I've said that to him many times. Well, to be fair, it's been trailed on this radio show for the last 6 months, so it's had the biggest build-up since the royal wedding. So, but anyway, he's off on his honeymoon. So Lovely. Me and John Hill are holding the fort.
By the way, I must go back last week. The eclipse was sensational. What a day you had.
Ryan Moore. What a jockey.
He was unbelievable. To be honest, it was a brilliant day. We were celebrating our 50 years of sponsorship, and everything that we could do, we made it a big party. Sandown were brilliant, but the race itself, you can't control that. And it threw up an absolute thriller the way it all panned out. Ryan Moore, some people say he got out of jail because he got into a bad position. Others are saying he was absolutely sensational. It's probably a bit of both, but I've never seen him smile so much. He's not famous for smiling, Ryan Moore, but he had a big grin on his face afterwards. I think it gave him a lot of pleasure. So,
do you know what? Coming in the straight, I'm like, who's going to win this? You could pick any one of them.
Well, you could, and actually, in many ways, the horse you thought was least likely to win was Delacroix, and he ended up coming with that incredible surge to win the race.
Simon, when you think about it, he's a genius. Aidan O'Brien is a genius. He's talked his horse up. He disappointed in the Derby. To throw him in the eclipse, you've got to take the hint. I was kicking myself for not having a little saver on.
I know, and listen, Ombudsman's a very good horse, and he came second. He'd won at Royal Ascot. He literally was mugged on the line effectively by Delacroix. But the fact that Ryan Moore picked Delacroix rather than Camille Pizarro, who'd won the French Derby, Aidan O'Brien's won the race 8 times before. Now he's won it 9 times before. It was almost too obvious, Al, like you say. But but anyone who watched the race, we were down
in Newcastle. We had a summer party down there, and we watched it on the big screen. About 60 of us, and everyone shouting for different horses. We had a bit of a sweepstake, bit of fun. It was great.
Gosh, that's really a great day. That's the way to watch the Coral eclipse, Al.
Right, what we got? Wimbledon now and the Club World Cup odds, please.
Yeah, listen. Well, let's start with FIFA World Cup. You're trading the PSG versus Real Madrid game in New Jersey. Will be a good game. We're just shading PSG at 8-11, even money Real Madrid to make the final. At the moment, PSG are favourites to win the whole thing with 6-4, 7-4 Chelsea, 9-4 Real Madrid. But tonight's game, I think whoever wins tonight, if Real Madrid win, they'll become favourites against Chelsea in the final. But, probably too close to call PSG logical favourites, guys.
Well, Dino said an interesting thing. Dino, you explained to the nation.
I'm just trying to look how the game's going to go tonight. If Real Madrid play in their own last third, PSG will steal the ball off them. They're brilliant at it. They're like a swarm of bees all over you. They work harder than every other team, and they repossess the ball non-stop. So if you try and overplay against them, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, it should be a cracking game, really, shouldn't it? We got the light. Is it Agent Durham over watching the England Netherlands game? This must-win game in the Women's Euros.
Yes.
England are England are 10-11 to win. I think they need to win. A draw leaves them relying on the France-Netherlands last game. So they want to win at 10. It's 10-11, 5-2 the draw, 3-1 Netherlands. Netherlands are effectively full favourites of the tournament. So this is a very close game. It's all or nothing tonight for the women's team.
What about the Wales team, Simon? Because we've got anti-Welsh in the studio again. Anti-Welsh. And the Wales,
8-1.
They've had a crash in the bus. Everyone's all right, yes. Bit of adversity. Obviously, France are favourites. What odds are Wales to win the game tonight?
18-1 Wales to win the game. A draw we're probably doing the favour 17-2. You never know. And it's 2-15 the French side, who look very good against England. So we'll be cheering on the Welsh team, but they're definitely massive underdogs. But they like it like that.
Yeah, some of us will be cheering them on.
Wimbledon, right? Wimbledon. So Alcaraz looked fantastic, didn't he? It's an interesting one. I think Sinner's very, very fortunate to be still in it.
Absolutely.
But, how do we... Djokovic, you can't write him off, Djokovic. You cannot write him off. So it's interesting. Do you make Alcaraz favourite?
Yeah, listen, he's favourite. He's through. He's 8-13. He's looking brilliant, isn't he? Today we've got Yannick Sinner against Ben Shelton, the American. Sinner's 1-3, Shelton 2-1. After Sinner, Sinner was lucky to get through against Dimitrov, so that'll be probably closer than maybe the odds suggest. And Djokovic is 10s on against Flavio Cobolli, so you think should get through. And both Sinner and Djokovic are 100-30 second favourites behind Alcaraz. But as you say, Alcaraz looking fantastic. In the women's half, Sabalenka's 8-11 favourite. She's amazing.
She wins it.
She wins it. She's so good, isn't she? We've got Swiatek today against Samsonova. She's 1-3 Swiatek. She's the second favourite behind Sabalenka in the outright betting. Actually, Bencic, the Swiss lady who was world number 4, went off and had a daughter. I watched her actually on court number 1 on Monday, and she gave a lovely interview afterwards. She's taking her daughter around the world with her on tour, and she's 9-5 second favourite against Andreevas. That would be a bit of a shock if she was to win, but I'll be cheering her on.
Simon, just round the corner, Glorious Goodwood.
Well, not far away, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. We've got the July meeting at Newmarket the next 3 days.
Yes, I might try and get there Friday. Friday or Saturday, I might try and get there.
How about Colin Keane missing the festival?
Yeah,
must be devastated.
He's a good jockey, though. He's a very good jockey. Glorious Goodwood. I think we're hopefully doing the show the first 2 days of Glorious Goodwood, Dino. I think, and I'm sure Al will be there. I don't know if you're going to make the cut.
I'm waiting for the Steve-O invite. It's the same as you.
Well, we're happy for you to come. I think you need to talk.
That's it. I'm in. Thanks, Simon. You've said enough. Thanks very much.
That's right.
Simon, have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks, Simon.
Right, that was a look at the latest odds, all thanks to Coral. 18plusgambleaware.org. Coming up, Gianni Infantino has said the Club World Cup has started a new era in club football, but is it a good era? We'll discuss that one next.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for it. 18plusbegambleaware.org.
Well, Joao Pedro didn't even play for Chelsea at the start of this Club World Cup, but largely thanks to him, on Sunday, they'll be in the final.
A good ball, wide towards Joao Pedro, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's shown the inside, he takes the route, and he hammers the ball home in majestic fashion. Joao Pedro with his second against his boyhood club. The first finish was emphatic, the second was absolutely devastating. It's Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2.
From the blue lines to the red ones, Itoje's called his squad too tippy-tappy and is promising that they'll be more direct ahead of their first test, following criticism of their intricate play so far this tour. Coach Johnny Sexton's been defending their attack ahead of the Brumbies this morning.
Our cohesion has been pretty impressive. I think that Andy's done a great job with that and the other coaches, and every time you play in the jersey it means a lot and it's remembered. You know, I remember what happened 12 years ago, I remember what happened 24 years ago, and you know, so these games stick in people's memories despite it not being as important as the test.
Meanwhile, it's that part of Wimbledon where us Brits have to decide which players to follow. Now all of our hopefuls are out. Cam Norrie was the last man to fall as Carlos Alcaraz sets up a semi-final with Taylor Fritz. Here is Norrie.
He is the favourite for sure. I think I was missing a little bit more because I was pressing a bit more than usual. But I think that's credit to him, his physicality, his movement, and his power.
This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark app. Buy a car and opt in to Arnold Clark Rewards to enjoy access to great giveaways and everyday perks. Dino with me. Time now. Let's look ahead. Today's Club World Cup action. All thanks to DAZN.
FIFA Club World Cup Roundup on talkSPORT. Presented by DAZN. Watch every game of the FIFA Club World Cup live and for free on DAZN. Sign up now at DAZN.com.
So we're reaching the latter stages with the big clubs showing their force. FIFA President Gianni Infantino was speaking yesterday in the competition, calling it a new era of club football. I think Donald Trump might be coming to the final, I believe.
Is he?
What this trophy represents and what the FIFA Club World Cup represents. A new competition, a challenge that we took to start a new era of club football. This is what football does, what FIFA wants to do, to bring the world together. And our motto as well for this FIFA Club World Cup is Unite for Peace. We need, of course, peace in these troubled times, and we're all working on this direction.
The trouble is, Al, it's not the best of the best playing.
No.
So until you get that, the best in Europe, the best in Asia, the best in South America.
I don't get what you said there, how we're working for peace. How are they working for peace?
What's peace got to do with the World Cup anyway?
With Moscow and Kiev, and with Gaza, Israel, Iran, America. What's the football got to do with that?
Exactly. Just don't start bringing politics into football.
No. Okay, right. Would you? I don't know. Has it been a success? You know, it looked a good crowd last night. From what I've seen, the Chelsea game looked busy.
This is a bit shocking. I've got a feeling the Champions League starts tonight.
It does. Qualifiers, yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. So this is we're already into the Champions League.
Yeah.
So you got an issue. The players have been away too long in America. So we'll see, won't we, how Chelsea get on after Christmas. We'll see if it has any effect on them, because obviously it's £2 million a spot in the Premier League. if you miss the Champions League, it's cost you 100 million. So it might have a detrimental effect on the players. We'll wait and see, but I think it'll help Chelsea football-wise because of the getting the team together, and he's had an extra 5 games. Yeah,
come sort of February, March, I'm not sure. Real Madrid against PSG is live in talkSPORT tonight. One issue that could face teams is fatigue. Reports suggest Real Madrid have asked to delay the season and suspend their opening fixture, which is set. The fixture is set to be on August 19. They want it suspended. To give us more, let's bring in European football expert Kevin Hatchard. Kev, morning, Kev.
Morning, Kev.
Morning, guys. How are we?
Very well, Kev. Listen, is this a good thing for football or not? We heard Infantino talking about we're striving for peace. I don't see how they can make any difference, but I'm more concerned with teams now. Fatigue sets in January, February. This clearly can't help them.
Yeah, it's the latest thing in what is a very congested calendar, and nobody's backing down. UEFA have obviously expanded their Champions League by a couple of games in the league phase, so they're not backing down, and they've had the Nations League, which has been very successful. But what that's done is it's made what used to be fairly low-key or low-energy friendlies into quite big competitive games. And so that's changed as well. You have this situation where La Liga, the Premier League, are they going to back down? Are they going to want to make changes to their competitions to accommodate a FIFA tournament that's nothing really to do with them?
We had Real Madrid, they're trying to postpone their opening fixture.
Yeah, and Chelsea and Manchester City are believed to have asked the Premier League to do similar, and they weren't going for that either. So, you're going to have these situations where all of these competitions are pushing back against each other. And I think clubs are going to have bigger squads. I think that's going to have to be the only way through it, because you cannot repeatedly drive players into the ground. And you look at some of the conditions the games have been played in, they've been keen to have European friendly time slots. And so you've had guys playing in, 30 odd degree heat, and some of the games have been very slow as a result. So, yeah, I think that's a big problem. The biggest problem, I think, actually, is going to be the financial inequality that it entrenches. Because if you're a club that's involved in this and you're getting big sums of money, for Chelsea and Manchester City, it's less of an issue because they've got a fair bit of headroom anyway. But some of the other clubs who get massive sums from being in this, it's just going to take them further away from their domestic rivals.
Kev, from the player's point of view, and it's like all of us, right? You don't have to be a footballer. If you've got little fibre tears in your legs, which we play with all season, as footballers, we play with knocks, and you're never 100% fit. It takes 3 weeks for anybody to have injuries clear up. If you don't have 3 weeks off in the summer, those little fibres that you've torn and little knocks you've got, they've not cleared up still, and you roll into the next season. And if you miss pre-season, which is building blocks for 4 or 5 weeks, which you start off slowly, if you miss pre-season, it costs you, Al, doesn't it? It puts the base into your legs. So some of these players will be going straight in, a week off, straight into normal training. There's no building blocks.
Take Vitinha, for example. I mean, he's kind of a Duracell bunny anyway. I mean, he's got unbelievable energy, but exactly what you're talking about, right? So he's just gone through a really big season with PSG. He's won the Champions League. He's won every trophy there is to win domestically. Then he's gone over to play the Nations League for Portugal, and he's played semi-final, final, so he's just won that. Now he's playing this tournament, and they've gone deep into it, semi-finals. They might get to the finals, so that might be a load more games. Then he's going to go back for PSG, and he's going to play a whole season again. He's going to be pushing for Champions League and Liga and all of that. And then what you got? A World Cup, right at the end of it. Where's his break? And I know it will feel to him like he's winning, it's going well, etc., but where's his break? And I think the other thing as well, you're absolutely right about the physical side. What about the mental side of this? Because I know that footballers are incredibly well paid. I get all of that. But it is scrutiny, pressure, social media, all of that stuff all the time. Game, constantly. Yeah. Where's the break? Where is the break?
No, I agree. Totally agree. And you'll hear the managers whinge soon. Don't worry about that. What about... how do you see this game going? Real Madrid, PSG, is it a flip of a coin?
I think it's pretty close. I think PSG are further down the track. because Luis Enrique has done incredible work with them. I think they're a bit more settled in what they're doing. Real Madrid have surprised me a little bit because they look like a Xabi Alonso team already. We've seen things like wing-backs crossing to wing-backs and scoring goals. Fran Garcia got that goal the other night. And there have been some really encouraging things. Arda Güler in a slightly deeper role in midfield. And so I think Xabi Alonso will be fairly pleased. They don't have Dean Howson because of suspension. That might bring Raul Asensio back into the lineup, and he's another one. Young guy who's come through the academy, but because of the injuries they had at the back with Alaba and Militao and guys like that, he had to play a lot more than they perhaps expected him to play, and he's looked really ropey at this Club World Cup. Mbappe, it'd be an interesting decision up front as well. Do you bring Mbappe back against his old club into the starting 11, or do you keep going with this young kid, Gonzalo Garcia, who's been doing really well? I think it'll be a great game. I think it's a bit of a gift for FIFA, this semi-final, to be honest, that you've got two big hitters that are playing pretty well. So, yeah, I think PSG will just nick it, but I think it'll be a really interesting game.
Kevin Joya, thank you. Kevin Hatchard.
Thanks, Kev.
Cheers, guys.
Our European football expert. That was a look ahead to the FIFA World Cup with DAZN. Watch every game of the FIFA Club World Cup live and for free on DAZN. Sign up to DAZN.com.
FIFA Club World Cup Roundup on talkSPORT, presented by DAZN. Sign up now at DAZN.com to watch every game live and for free.
He plays that villain role very well now. It's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarks.
Out of order, Alan. Who said Ollie is having therapy for dressing scruffy every day? Can't
help it, can he? I keep telling me he's smarting up, but he just can't help it. Let's look ahead to the next hour of the show with Benchmarks. So, 03717223344 is the number to call. Have your say. Chelsea fans happy with making the Club World Cup final? Maresca says a huge achievement, but at what cost? Chelsea reportedly wanted to postpone their opening game again because of fatigue. Is winning the Club World Cup worth affecting your league form, your Premier League form? What about the financial inequality it would create in the league? Could the Club World Cup ruin our Premier League? Is this a new era of club football? As Infantino said, going to be a worse one. Do you know what? I can't trust FIFA or UEFA, to be honest. 03717223344. Give us a call this morning. In under an hour, we're going to be joined by this former Wimbledon finalist. See, one of my favourite cities is Sydney. I love Sydney.
Yeah, you love a night out, I can tell.
You're right, Nick. Sydney, although I've not been for a few years, to be honest. He'll tell us what it's like coming up against the likes of Sinner and whether real-line judges should be brought back in. That was our breakfast preview with our friends at Benchmark.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. All our Benchmarks kitchen doors come with a 5-year guarantee. Terms and conditions apply.
You're simply the best.
Steady, Actually, I don't like it. Big John doesn't like it, and you're singing it.
That song?
Yeah.
Simply the best. Brilliant song. Tina Turner.
Well, ask Big John if you like. So, yeah, it's time for the best quiz on radio, Simply the Best. Taking on our very own Dean Saunders this morning is a fellow legendary Welsh striker.
John Hartson lays off the shot! John Hartson!
John Hartson!
John, a very, very good man. We can't sing this song, can we, John?
Well, believe it or not, that's my mother's karaoke song.
But we can't sing it, can we?
No, certainly not. We can't sing that. We need to change it somehow, don't we?
I know. Honestly, I keep telling me, change this, but they won't do it. My Christ loves it.
Before we get into the quiz, right, I've got to tell you another one about John, right? So Bobby Gould's picked the team, right?
Yeah.
And he's told John he's playing, right? And then match day, he's not. So when you go out for a warm-up, he's tailed off in the warm-up sulking, right? And Gouldy's at the front, jogging along. Shake the meat off the bone, lads, shake the meat off the bone. And he goes, oi, big man, come on, get it out of your system. Make a circle, lads. Make a circle. Come on, big man, hit me. And he's gone, I'll kill you, Bob, if I hit you. He went, come on, you big fella. Come on, hit me. And Gary Speed went, go on, John. He was a captain, Speedy.
Oh. Good days.
Yeah.
Good days.
He got him in a headlock, by the way, on the floor. He got Bobby Gould in a headlock on match day.
Dino, what's this anti-Welsh I'm hearing?
I know. It's all wrong, John.
Anti-Welsh.
I know.
You keep saying.
You need to get in this studio.
We're Swansea boys, mate.
I know.
We got to stick together. Us Swansea boys.
I know. It's Ollie, the producer. He doesn't like the Welsh.
So we're 3 rounds. Here we go. Let's get going. Right, round 1 is sporting links, guys. We'll cover a topical sports story from this week, and then I'll ask you a completely unrelated question off the back of it. Dino's up first, John. Thiago Silva, Dino, claimed this week that he was using his inside information to help Fluminense against Chelsea last night. It led to the headline, "The Spy Blue Love Me." So, Dino, who played James Bond in The Spy Who Loved Me? Who played James Bond?
Was it Roger Moore?
Roger Moore, is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Roger Moore is correct. 1-0 Dino.
Get in.
John, Lando Norris won the British Grand Prix, right? Lando Norris won the British Grand Prix for the first time last weekend, Silverstone, beating his teammate Oscar Piastri. So what I want to know is, what is the name of the Fleetwood Mac song that has become known as the theme for Formula One?
Not Dreams, is it? No, it can't be Dreams, no. No way.
It's not Dreams, mate. It's The Chain. Dino, what up? He's laughing here, John.
Well, I thought he'd be cheating, giving him the answers, but come on.
Right, Home Nations, this is for John to get back level. Bob McIntyre heads to Edinburgh this week as the defending champion of the Scottish Open. The last Scot to win it before him was Colin Montgomery. But who was the last Scot to win the actual Open Championship? Not the Scottish Open, the Open. Who was he? Come on, you're a golfer.
Wasn't Paul Lawrie, was it?
It was Paul Lawrie. Well done, well done. We're all square. Dino, we've reached the quarterfinals at Wimbledon, also known as the All England Club. So I want to know, who was the last Englishman to win the championship? He did it 3 times, you should get this, in the 1930s.
I've got it.
I will pass to John in 3 seconds.
No.
No? Oh, yeah.
I can't get his name
Who was
out.
it, John?
Fred Perry.
Correct. So, Dino, you're behind now. John, England famously won the Cricket World Cup in 2019 at Lord's, thanks to some Ben Stokes heroics. The skipper that day was a man born in Dublin, John. But who was he? The English skipper was born in Dublin. Who was he?
Owen Morgan.
Correct. Dino, you're getting your backside slapped. Dino, Ryan Giggs is far and away the top scoring Welshman in the Premier League with 109 goals. But who's second on that list with 82 goals?
Is it Gareth Bale?
It's not Gareth Bale. Who was it, John?
Ian Rush. Oh, no, he didn't play in the Premier League. Sorry. Can I say that again?
No.
Answer's
final.
It was Craig Bellamy.
Was it?
Yes.
I knew he said him.
Round 3, I put together a short package of talkSPORT clips. All you both need to do is listen carefully and try to remember as much as you possibly can. Right, here it is. Listen.
3, 2, 1.
I do only fools in horses work. La 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 la.
I think I could put up with it. It's just the eating the bugs I wouldn't like.
Kangaroo penis.
What come first, chicken or the egg?
Got to be the chicken.
What's the first thing you'd say to an alien?
Do you want a pint?
We've got octopus in goal, apparently.
Makes sense.
Makes sense, doesn't
it?
Should have a decent pair of hands on it.
Show us your maggots.
Nibble, nibble, nibble. Get off me rod.
If you ask Gabby what 2 + 2 is, he would say it equals yellow. They actually squirt. We have a car cleaner called Luther Van Wash.
Yeah!
Which singer sung Material Girl?
Peter Andre.
Oh, God. Material Girl.
So John leads 3-1. John, you're first up. Ginola David kicked off the package singing along to a famous theme tune. But what TV programme was the theme tune from?
Only Fools and Horses.
Correct. Dino, which animal did McCoy and Townsend put into their Animal 11?
Animal 11.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Do you remember where you live?
Cat.
What? Do you know who it was, John?
You want a chicken octopus? That wasn't it?
It was an octopus, yes.
Is that an animal or a fish?
Well, I'm just reading what's here.
Dino, you got to liven up. I'm playing against myself here.
He's killing you, Dino. What did Ray Parlour say would be the first thing that he would say to an alien?
Hello.
John, what did Parlour say? What would he say to an alien?
I missed that one now. I don't know.
He said, "Do you want a pint?" And I'll give you this one, Dino. I'll give you this to both of you. In miles, how long is the line that you can draw with an HB pencil before it runs out of lead? How long is the line that you can draw with an HB pencil before it runs out of lead, Dino?
A mile.
1 mile. John, more or less?
Oh, definitely less.
The answer was 35 miles. 35.
35 miles?
Yeah, 35 miles. Anyway, John, he said to me, John thinks he's really good at quizzes. I'm up against it. And how right you were.
I like a good quiz now. I like a good quiz.
Fred Perry, don't we?
So, will you be watching the rugby, John?
No, I won't, Alan. I'm actually going for a fit-in. I'm actually going for a golf fit-in this morning. Changed my clubs and my drivers. I played Dunbar last night. Remember with Tubes that used to be on Soccer AM?
Yes,
He's got his own golf. He's got his own golf channel now, and it comes on YouTube. And I'm waiting now to see when it comes on. But we had a great time. We played Dunbar, which is a fantastic course last night. So that's why my head is a bit sunburnt now.
What's our clubs have we got? Callaway?
No, I've got TaylorMade, and the boys are going to fit me out today now with drivers and everything. So I've got that at 10 o'clock. I might just get back for...
Freebies?
Oh, of course, Dean, yeah.
Before you go, I just got to ask you about Arsenal. How do you think it's shaping up for them?
Well, I think Arsenal, I think they've been unlucky, to be honest with you, and everybody keeps going on about why Arteta can't win the league and that. It's been impossible for Arsenal to win the league, in my opinion, because Man City have been so strong, arguably the best team in the world. You know, over the last 3 or 4 years, not so much last season, obviously. They had a few problems, injuries. De Bruyne wasn't at his best, one or two others. But in terms of Arsenal, Liverpool were magnificent last season. And I think Arsenal get into second, get into the Champions League, similar to what Arsene Wenger did in his last 10 years reign. I know the Arsenal fans, they're getting frustrated and everything else. The striker problems obviously affected them, but Saka as well, being out for so long last season, he's world class. He makes such a difference to the side. But I just think they need to go and get that centre forward that's going to get you 20, 25 goals, like Ian Wright used to do. You know, get a player in and around that 6-yard box, little tap-ins, little runs in the 6-yard box. That's what Arsenal need, I think, and they just don't need one. I think they need a couple. So finishing top 4, it's not good enough for a lot of Arsenal supporters. But if they look at the bigger picture, the last 3 seasons they finished, I think it's second to teams that are better than them. It's quite as simple as that.
John, have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your club fitting, and we'll see you soon. Speak to you soon. Thank you, pal.
Pleasure. Thank you, boys.
John Hartson there. Right, coming up 9 o'clock.
Well, Joao Pedro didn't even play for Chelsea at the start of this Club World Cup, but largely thanks to him, on Sunday, they'll be in the final.
Neto swings across into the penalty area, cleared by Thiago Silva, and curled in superbly by Joao Pedro. What a way to open his Chelsea account. No celebration from the former Fluminense player, but that was a special goal, curling in, an absolute beauty.
And if you thought that was good, his second one was even better.
It's a good ball, wide towards Joao Pedro, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's shown the inside, he takes the route, and he hammers the ball home in majestic fashion. Joao Pedro with his second against his boyhood club. The first finish was emphatic, the second was absolutely devastating. It's Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2.
Enzo Maresca's side will play either PSG or Real Madrid in Sunday's final. They play each other live on talkSPORT tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. From the blue lines to the red ones, Itoje's called his squad too tippy-tappy and is promising that they'll be more direct ahead of their first test, following criticism of their intricate play so far this tour. Coach Johnny Sexton's been defending their attack ahead of the Brumbies this morning.
Our cohesion has been pretty impressive. I think that Andy's done a great job with that and the other coaches, and every time you play in the jersey it means a lot and it's remembered. You know, I remember what happened 12 years ago, I remember what happened 24 years ago, and you know, so these games stick in people's memories despite it not being as important as the test.
Listen to live commentary of that game at 10 a.m. as well as every other match on tour, exclusively live of course. Meanwhile, it's that part of Wimbledon where us Brits have to decide which players to follow. Now all of our hopefuls are out. Cam Norrie was the last man to fall as Carlos Alcaraz sets up a semi-final with Taylor Fritz. Here is Norrie.
He is the favourite for sure. I think I was missing a little bit more because I was pressing a bit more than usual. But I think that's credit to him, his physicality, his movement and his power.
Get more reaction from the latest results at SW19 on our daily Wimbledon unfiltered YouTube show with former finalist and bad man Nick Kyrgios.
9, talkSPORT breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. Alan Brazil and Dean Saunders still to come between now and 10 a.m. We'll be getting 2022 Wimbledon finalist Nick Kyrgios take on yet another line technology failure at Wimbledon yesterday and ask whether glitches could go on to affect the outcome of the tournament. England must win tonight or likely face elimination from the competition they won 3 years ago. The Women's Euros. Former Lioness Rachel Yankee joins us for a preview of that. Plus, we cross live to stadium in Canberra and ask our Lions correspondent Alfie Reynolds whether this is a trial run for the first test against the Aussies, live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2. Plus, is there a rift amongst the Aussies? Legend of rugby David Campese and Matt Gitto are not happy with each other. More on that coming later. Now, though, Chelsea one game from world domination.
And that is it. The full-time whistle goes, and Chelsea are 90 minutes away from potentially being world champions. They are into the final in New York on Sunday, live on the talkSPORT network. Joao Pedro, the Brazilian international, scoring his first goals for the club to knock out the Brazilian giants Fluminense. And Chelsea will face another real giant in the final, but they're still here, they're still fighting, and they could yet be the best in the world. Full time, Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2.
I have to argue that case, even if they win it, and I hope they win it. Listen, and I'm not disrespectful to Chelsea here, but I don't think if they win it, they're the best team in the world. Sorry.
No, 100% true. I mean,
but I don't want to take anything away from them. I hope they win it. I really do.
They'll have the title, but really, we know there's better teams in the world that aren't in it.
By the way, was that pitch AstroTurf?
No.
That was grass?
Grass, yeah, I think so.
Wow, good pitch. A stunning double against his first pro club for Joao Pedro propelled Chelsea into the first expanded Club World Cup final, which will be live on talkSPORT this Sunday, don't forget. So is this competition as hard to win as the Champions League? Enzo Maresco seems to think so.
We are very happy, we are very proud to play the final on Sunday. The reason why is because this is the Club World Cup, first edition, best club in the world they are here. So for us to be there on Sunday is something that we have to be proud. So very happy about that.
Enzo Maresco there. No, the Champions League's harder to win.
Well, here's one way to put it. They've played Palmeiras, Club Tunis, Benfica and Fluminense. Yeah. Not one player out of them teams would get in Chelsea's team. So how can it be harder than the Champions League?
But Chelsea fans, listen, we're not having a go here because we both want you to win it. We really do. It'll be a great final, whoever you meet. But I'm not having that. It's harder to win than the Champions League. No chance.
No. I mean, is it a conversation, really?
No. So Chelsea will take on either PSG or Real Madrid tonight. What about this, Dino? Real have submitted a request to postpone their first La Liga game of the season against Osasuna on August 19. That's because of the impact they fear the tournament will have on next year. Dean, how much could it affect him next season as a manager? Would you want your first game postponed?
Well, what was the point in ever doing a pre-season then that we've done all through our careers? You do a pre-season and you build your legs up to get through a full season, and if you miss pre-season, people said, we could tell you missed pre-season. So now they're just rolling into the season, which is not good, and it might affect them later on.
Plus, how often do they get off now? Is it 2 or 3 weeks at the most?
Well, I mean, I don't know how long they're going to get, but you do need...
Your body needs a rest.
It needs to repair. You're playing with injuries, little fibre tears in your thigh, little hamstring injury, your ankle's hurting you. In 3 weeks, it'll all repair itself, and then you switch off mentally, and then you're back ready for action again. Yeah. Start off slowly, and end up sprinting. They're going to go straight into the sprint without doing the base work.
Okay, burnout, does that come into it? Former Chelsea midfielder Andy Townsend was alongside Jeff Stelling on the show yesterday and said he does fear burnout for them.
It's going to be really interesting how these teams that are involved in this competition, Jeff, how they get on in December, January, Feb. It is going to be very, very intriguing, I think, to see how players cope with the demands of keeping going into mid-July. And how they pick it up again once we get going for the new Premier League season. I remember in the World Cup in '94. I'd only been at Villa a year, and I remember playing in that tournament and hitting a brick wall in sort of early December. Really feeling completely knackered, shot to bits, and finding everything, whether it was training, whether it was matches, felt like you was plodding and a bit sluggish, and it's difficult sometimes to snap out of that.
Andy Townsend there. So, Dino, burnout. If Chelsea have a bad start to the season, will Chelsea fans regret even being in it?
Probably, yeah. But what about Arsenal? They're about to go on a tour of, I don't know, Malaysia or Singapore or something. Really? If you're worried about burnout, cancel that trip. Stay near the training ground for 2 weeks. So there's no travelling for the players. They're not getting on aeroplanes, not getting off. They're not training in stupid heat. They're training at Arsenal.
Oh, and it's boiling over there.
And let them just breeze through pre-season.
Yeah. By the way,
cancel the trips abroad.
When we're talking about heat, you can't breathe.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's not just, God, that sun's really hot. It's not, no, you can't breathe properly.
Catch your breath, can you, on the pitch? You're like breathe, trying to get in. But obviously they're doing that for money. But so have a look at, I mean, they all do it. Man City, Liverpool, they're all doing these trips. Tottenham, remember they took the team to Australia and played like a couple of days after the end of the season. And then Maddison done his ankle.
Yeah.
I mean, cancel those trips. I mean, you might make 8 or 9 million, but it's going to cost you in your league spot.
Yeah. So fatigue is going to be a big problem, but European football expert Kevin Hatchard believes the Club World Cup will cause an even bigger problem for the Premier League.
The biggest problem, I think, actually, is going to be the financial inequality that it entrenches. Because if you're a club that's involved in this and you're getting big sums of money, for Chelsea and Manchester City, it's less of an issue because they've got a fair bit of headroom anyway. But some of the other clubs who get massive sums from being in this, it's just going to take them further away from their domestic rivals.
Kevin Hatchard there. We'll come back to that later on. It's coming up 9:13.
He plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
This is talkSPORT Breakfast with the Arnold Clark app. Buy a car and join Arnold Clark Rewards to enjoy access to great giveaways and everyday perks. Now, today's a huge day for Crystal Palace. They're still waiting to find out whether they can compete in the Europa League next season. Here's talkSPORT's Max Scott with the very latest.
Palace's place in the competition seems to all boil down to whether Lyon, also owned by John Textor's Eagle Football Holdings, are successful in their appeal against demotion to the French second tier. It looks like the decision on that, which was expected to take place on Thursday, has been brought forward to today. If Lyon's demotion is ratified, then Palace will have a clear path to compete in Europe next season. But if Lyon are successful and stay in Ligue 1, then UEFA have a decision to make. But it could mean they get Europa League at the expense of Palace.
What a shame, eh? They've got to go through this, Palace.
Can you remember when the owner of the football club, the chairman of the football club, was a rich fan who loved the club? Can you remember?
Yeah.
Most clubs, didn't they? The man, like say at Derby,
Mark Goldstein was one. Mark Goldberg was one.
Yeah, they were they were fans of the club, weren't they? So they used to let the heart rule their head sometimes, and they give you a bit more money. The manager, go on, because they love the club, and all they wanted to do in all their lives is play for the club, and the next best thing was to own the club. Now, you either own a football club because you're playing Football Manager with a real football club, or for your just yourself, you think, I can, so I'm going to. Or you're trying to make money, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, don't worry about that.
Do they really care about the club, the owners? Or is it just a vehicle to mess
look
around
at
with?
Manchester United owner now. Is he regretting what he's done? Does he realise the can of worm he's got involved with?
Probably, yeah. And the Glazers, do they love the club? Or are they just using it?
And yet overs at Tampa, they love them over there. It's weird, isn't it? United fans hate them, but in America, they love them.
Yeah, look at Todd Bowley. Does he love Chelsea? Or was he just having a game of Football Manager?
Don't know.
1.3 billion they've spent. I mean, if you count up the players...
Liverpool owners have done well, haven't they? They've spent a lot of money.
Yeah, steadily. And
the Fenway Group?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done well.
But they've spent... how much did they spend? 200 million?
Maybe more. Yeah.
So going on pre-season for 5 or 6 million quid could cost you a lot of points in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They should cancel them. The players don't want to go on them. They're friendlies. They're in the wrong conditions. And that's how players get injured.
I agree. OK, it's winner bus now for tonight for the Lionesses, live on talkSPORT. England know if they fail to beat the Netherlands and France better their result against Wales, then the reigning champions will be out of the Euros. Lioness coach Serena Wiegman is under increasing pressure going into this, but she's just focused on a difficult game against the Dutch.
Many players want to be on the ball. They're technical and tactical, and and they have speed up front too. So we know that's a strength, but we also know when we have the ball that we can harm them, and they leave some spaces that we can. If we can exploit that really well, then we're going to make them very uncomfortable, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Right, the Times newspaper are writing today that England crashing out could have a negative impact on the women's game for coming years, affecting the growth of the game. John is now to look ahead to someone capped a whopping 129 times by the Lionesses. So very good morning to Rachel Yankee, who is focusing on making sure kids are staying active with the Play Their Way campaign. Rachel, a very good morning.
Morning, Rachel.
Morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. Rachel, before we get on to the campaign, how important is this for the Lionesses tonight? This is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. It's a must win. And sometimes when you're under pressure and your back's against the wall, it brings out the best in people. And I'm hoping that happens tonight.
Do you think it's a happy camp? Dino's touched on it, hinted that he thinks there could be a problem there.
Well, not only that as well. Do you think you should be telling the opposition your tactics before the game? I was just listening. Yeah. She just told them what they're going to do.
I think, to be honest, the way England sort of play, and I think it's probably pretty obvious the way that England sort of are going to go about things and the style of their players. So I don't think that would be much surprise. I think it's just about producing and making sure for the whole of the 90 minutes that everyone performs and brings their A game, because there can't be any mistakes or sloppiness tonight. Otherwise, it could be England sort of bowing out of the tournament. So it's an important game. It's huge. But I do think that we have, really good strength in balance within the team. And if everybody performs at their best, I think that we can win the game. But equally, Netherlands are a fantastic side, and if we give them half a chance, we could be exposed and we could be in trouble. So it's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a tough one, but when you're under pressure, you have to bring it. So, and
I would imagine, Rachel, you have your fingers crossed, not because you know some of the girls and you're a Lioness yourself, but in terms of your campaign, you want them to be successful for the kids to say, "I want a bit of that," don't you?
Of course. I think we look back at 2022. I played in 2012, that's what I'm thinking there. 2022, England winning the tournament, and the massive impact that had, in generations before that, games that I played in, we sort of got so far, but then when we got knocked out of a tournament, everybody forgot about it. Nobody talked about it. 2022, winning it actually, really changed the way people perceived the game, the way people spoke about the game, the actual influence on the next generation. The fact that so many girls were there wanting to try the sport for the first time. And that's why this campaign that I'm at today is so important. It's about making sure that they use the research that they learned from 2022, is that the difference between the dropout from primary school level between girls and boys is so different. So actually, it's not about just getting girls into the game now. It's about thinking about how we're coaching them. A child first approach, making sure that fun is at the pinnacle of the way we teach girls, because we've shown that that's a really important thing before being competitive. So keeping girls in the sport and making sure, I suppose, you're growing lifelong habits of health and fitness is probably the biggest factor, not just trying to think about who's going to be the next Lioness or the next fantastic player that comes through the ranks. It's about the bigger picture.
Rachel, are you getting enough help? Because obviously I've watched the Wales women's team didn't have shirts 2 or 3 years ago, nowhere to train. It's obviously £100 an hour to train on an AstroTurf pitch. So you need help from the government. They spend money on other things. Surely they can see what the England women's team has done for women in general, getting them out playing football when it wasn't cool to play football. Now it is.
No, definitely. I think you're spot on there. I think the barriers and probably the difference between Wales and England is the structure and the infrastructure and the actually the resources that they had. Definitely for 2022, the amount of funding and resources and education and support that the England team had is a major factor of why they won. And Wales just didn't receive that. And so for Wales getting to this tournament, the journey that they've been on, is incredible. And I think people need to understand the backstory of women's football, but definitely for Welsh women's football, incredible for them to even be here with all the struggles and the lack of, I suppose, value. And then I think that's why, equally going back to looking at young girls today, there are still barriers, and we continue to fight and try to break down those barriers. But one that they've definitely seen is that when we get girls onto the pitch and playing, you've got to make sure to keep them there. It's about enjoyment, it's about fun, it's about feeling valued, and it's about making sure that they have an impact and an input into the sessions. Competitiveness for some girls isn't the reason that they're playing. For some girls, they're just here to make friends and to enjoy the sport. And I suppose that's the difference between looking at elite and just being in a social. And I think what we're trying to build is making sure that we have a fantastic social network, that girls feel like football is a game for them, that they can, follow their passion and really enjoy the game. And then with that, you can then look at, nurturing that talent and producing and really having a good structure to help that talent flourish in the future.
Rachel, finally, is there a web address you can give us so anyone listening who would like to get involved, please?
Thank you. I think for any sort of coaches, any teachers, even any parents, going on to playtheirway.org, and it's free to sign up and get resources that can help you work with children and maybe think about coaching in a different way. So I'd urge people to look at that and have a go and try and sign up for that. But thank you, guys.
Rachel, good luck. You're very welcome.
Done.
Good luck with your
Doing
campaign.
a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Rachel Yankee there. So have a little look at that. Supporting the Play Their Way campaign, getting kids active and playing football. It's much better than those screens they're watching. Coming up, technology issues continue at Wimbledon, SW19. Why do they keep changing our sports? Would we rather they all just left them alone? That's coming next.
Well, Joao Pedro didn't even play for Chelsea at the start of this Club World Cup, but largely thanks to him, on Sunday, they'll be in the final.
A good ball, wide towards Joao Pedro, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's shown the inside, he takes the route, and he hammers the ball home in majestic fashion. Joao Pedro with his second against his boyhood club. The first finish was emphatic, the second was absolutely devastating. It's Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2.
From the blue lines to the red ones, Itoje's called his squad too tippy-tappy and is promising that they'll be more direct ahead of their first test, following criticism of their intricate play so far this tour. Coach Johnny Sexton's been defending their attack ahead of the Brumbies this morning.
Our cohesion has been pretty impressive. I think that Andy's done a great job with that and the other coaches, and every time you play in the jersey it means a lot, and it's remembered. You know, I remember what happened 12 years ago, I remember what happened 24 years ago, and you know, so these games stick in people's memories despite it not being as important as the test.
Meanwhile, it's that part of Wimbledon where us Brits have to decide which players to follow. Now all of our hopefuls are out. Cam Norrie was the last man to fall as Carlos Alcaraz sets up a semi-final with Taylor Fritz. Here is Norrie.
He is the favourite for sure. I think I was missing a little bit more because I was pressing a bit more than usual. But I think that's credit to him, his physicality, his movement and his power.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Did you ever see the Simon Cowell when the two Welsh lads done the, you know, what was the show? Not
Britain's Got Talent?
Yeah, not Britain Got Talent, the other one. You know when he's singing X Factor, and the two Welsh lads stood in front of the other, and they were, one of them was going like living it up. He was just coming in for the chorus. It's hilarious. If you get a chance to watch it, the two Welsh boys, it's the best one ever.
Okay, this song is West Indies legendary cricketer Chris Gayle with Omari Banks called Living It Up. Now, England's cricketers get back underway against India tomorrow, what promised to be, a glorious day at Lord's. It's going to be great. The series posed perfectly 1-1. West Indian cricket legend Chris Gayle joined the H&J show yesterday and gave his thoughts on baseball and this series against the Indians.
The type of cricket is exciting for Test cricket, you know. It's really good to see, you know, teams getting 500 and still winning a Test match, and that was a great victory by India to actually come back from 1-0 down. But I like the excitement. I like how the guys approach the game as well, you know. It's nothing new still, you know, because that's the way I've been playing. That's how West Indies been playing cricket anyway. Yeah. We used to smash it all over the park in Test cricket. Doesn't matter the opponents. But this generation now, what's happening, I'm loving it. You know, I'm actually loving it. So, you know, it won't be that boring of a Test match. You know, you can get 400 within a day, you know, of a test match as well. So it's just different.
Chris Gayle there, he could hit a ball, couldn't he?
Oh, what about his outfit there? Was he in Alaska or something?
I couldn't see it. It was all foggy.
He's got
misty.
a fur coat on, hat on. He looks like he's in Alaska.
Is he?
But, what a player. He could win a game on his own. Bit like Ian Botham. You know, that type of player, won't he? Just take the game, scruff of the neck, battery.
Let's focus back on Wimbledon now as we're reaching the business end of the tournament. Cameron Norrie sadly crashing out, but a lot of the focus is still on the technology continuing to fail. There was a fault in Fritz's quarter-final yesterday and the point was replayed. It's been a big talking point throughout the tournament. I'm glad to say join us now 2022 Wimbledon finalist Nick Kyrgios. Nick, a very good day. Good morning, Nick.
Morning, Nick.
Nick, can you hear us, Nick? Hi, Nick.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, got you, Nick. Yep, lovely.
All right. How are you guys? Good to see you.
Very, very good. Just talking about, we'll come to the technology in a moment, but Alcaraz was a bit special, wasn't he, against Cameron yesterday? He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and this is the thing with Alcaraz. He'll get better as the tournament goes on, and now in the business end of the tournament, I just felt
like Cam couldn't really get any momentum going. You know, I feel like this is just the maturity of Alcaraz. You know, he's only early 20s and he's still finding a way to just dominate matches like this where, you know, Cam would have had the entire crowd, you know, behind him and just wasn't able to get any sort of momentum. And props to Cam, he had a great tournament, but this is what I was saying, that Alcaraz and Sinner are just head and shoulders above the rest of the field. You know, whether Djokovic can do it or not, I'm not too sure, but man, I felt for Cam out there. He was suffocated. He really was. I sat at the pub last night and watched it, and he just really was suffocated.
Alcaraz, he's a proper athlete, isn't he? Yeah. Even he's not the tallest. Even his serve, he's off the ground hitting the ball, and he covers the court so fast. And the power he generates, he's just a one-off at the moment. I think he's the best in the world. I do.
Yeah, he's definitely the best in the world, best player in the world. And yeah, physicality. He reminds me of a little Rafa Nadal. They play with such great athletic ability, and he's got the talent of Roger Federer, and he can really just be the villain like Novak Djokovic. He's got a bit of everyone, to be honest. So he's scary. But that was, look, he didn't really impress me so much throughout the championships. But yesterday was the first time I was like, okay, Alcaraz has arrived here at the championships, and he's here to win it again.
Nick, talking to Djokovic, do you think he can win it, Djokovic?
And I was speaking about this to my team. I feel like he's actually flown a little bit under the radar because of Sinner and the technology and everything that's going on in the tournament. I feel like Djokovic is kind of playing some of the best tennis I've seen him play in the last couple of years here. He looks like his body's feeling really, really, really good. He looks injury-free. And I think he does believe that he can win it. I think that him flying under the radar and people kind of forgetting about him and everyone talking about Alcaraz and Sinner, I do feel like Novak kind of feels like he can win it. Yeah, I think he can.
What about Nick now? Sinner may be a bit fortunate to be into the next round, taking on Ben Shelton, who I like also very much. This kid gets around the court well. You know, he's another top athlete.
Yeah, Shelton is an absolute animal. You know, on TV he looks in incredible shape, but when you're next to him, you really feel his presence, and he's a big dude. And he's exciting. You know, he's a bit rough around the edges. I like his story, and he gets the crowd involved. And he plays old school tennis, big serve, likes to come forward, likes to slice. He can definitely, you know, do some damage against Sinner, but again, I think Sinner was super fortunate, and I feel for Grigor Dimitrov. Like, this is 5 Grand Slams in a row where he's had to retire injured, and you start wondering, you know, is this the end of the line for Grigor? And you know, he's been such a solid player over the last 10 to 15 years. It sucks, and he was completely all over Sinner. You know, 2 sets to love up, playing some incredible tennis. Yeah, it was fair to say that Sinner was pretty fortunate to get through.
Shelton taking on Sinner now. I don't know what he eats, I don't know what his diet is, but I know you guys have got to be careful. But he slagged off a full English breakfast, saying he rates it nothing, 0 out of 10, and baked beans should not be anywhere near a breakfast. There's 1 or 2 people who take exception to that. They won't like it, so he could get a bit, you know, they might just be on Sinner's side because of a stupid comment.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, I'm going to have to completely disagree with his comments. I love a good English breakfast, to be honest. And I was with Gordon Ramsay the other day, and I made a good breakfast sandwich. I don't know what the hell Ben Shelton was talking about. I would love a little English breakfast right now, to be honest. I love baked beans.
Nick, going on to the technology, are you concerned that the nearer we get to the end of the tournament, that one massive point is going to, because of the technology, is going to cause an upset?
Please don't speak it into existence. I really hope not. And you know, this has been two days now where there's been malfunctions and things are happening. I think arguably now we should just probably turn it off completely and maybe just get some line umpires for the rest of the tournament. I don't know if that's possible, but I really hope not. I really hope it doesn't affect, you know, these high level athletes and the level of tennis we've been seeing. It would be really unfortunate to see if something like that determines a big point or determines a set and really does ruin a match. So I think Wimbledon has work to do, you know, next year, whether or not, you know, they decide to keep going forward with it or not. I'm not sure what's going on with the technology, but I really wouldn't like to see it affect the match, because then it would really bring up some issues for sure.
Yeah. What about the women's, Nick? Sabalenka, I think she wins at me, but sneaking through the semis?
Look, she did not play well yesterday at all. You know, I sat here and watched it, and props to a 37-year-old Siegman who, you know, you look at everyone that Sabalenka's played, and I think she kind of dropped the blueprint of how you play Sabalenka. You got to slice, you got to bring her forward, you got to drop shot, and she nearly won. She put herself in a winning position, and Sabalenka was very fortunate to come through. But again, Sabalenka is one of the only top players still in the draw. She will know that, and sometimes it's not easy being the favourite all the time. But yeah, I think the draw is favourable for her, but there's some still good talent on the women's side left for sure.
And Nick, little birdie tells me you might be playing her in the future in the Battle of the Sexes, Sabalenka.
Yeah, we're with the same agency, so we're thinking about doing a little bit of the Battle of the Sexes, and you know, putting it to the test. You know, she's the best player in the world versus an old Kyrgios, so she's definitely going to be very confident there. But I feel like I've still got a lot of...
She'd be up for that, would she?
I think she's extremely confident. She's fierce. She's a hell of a player. So
no, she wouldn't get your service back.
I'll represent the old boys. Don't worry, I got you guys. Don't worry. I feel like you're panicking a little bit. It's all right. I got you.
I don't think you could brush that defeat off if you lost that one.
No, it's all good. I've been hitting with Emma Raducanu the last couple of days as well. So I'm getting some tactics. I'm getting some inside knowledge as well. So I'll be all right.
Listen, brilliant, Nick. Enjoy today. You know, it sounds as if you're having a great time at Wimbledon.
Oh, I love it, mate. I honestly really do love it. I've got a good routine going. I'm looking forward to these calls every morning. I'm watching the tennis. I feel like we're adding a lot of knowledge and insights to everyone listening. So
good.
It's all good.
Don't forget to head to talkSPORT's YouTube channel for more Nick Kyrgios and his podcast. They've had some great guests, including Rio Ferdinand, Jamie Murray. It's the best place to get your Wimbledon content. Nick, thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, Nick.
Coming up, the chunk. Jamie Harris caught. Well, he's not taking them injections, is he?
You said that, not me.
No, you told me earlier he was.
No, I never.
You did.
I never.
Jamie Harris called United's interest in Jamie Vardy embarrassing, but Dean likes the idea. We'll bring you more of that next.
He plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Okay, 12 minutes to 10 o'clock, talkSPORT Breakfast. Dino with me, some of the headlines you're waking up to this morning. Here we go. It was revealed yesterday that Big Ange and Thomas Frank weren't too far away for completing a job swap, right? Frank headed to Spurs after they sacked the Aussie, and Brentford held talks with Ange, but opted not to interview him. How can they have talks with him but not interview him? I don't understand that. US President Donald Trump has confirmed he will attend Sunday's FIFA Club World Cup final in New Jersey. And with Manchester United looking to bolster their attacking line, they've been linked with Leicester forward Jamie Vardy. Now, in the sports bar last night, our Jamie, the chunk, is not happy with the idea.
Jamie Vardy, you can't get away from the fact he scored a lot of Premier League goals and he's worth a punt. It is a bit embarrassing for Man United right now, the fact that they are looking at these players. Don't get me wrong.
He should be backup, shouldn't he?
Yeah,
he may
Jamie
well
Vardy
turn out
should
to
be.
but
Yeah. He should be a backup player to someone that they bring in. You go, you know what? We want another one, to bring in and we can use him. And Jamie Vardy, I tell you what, I'd have Jamie Vardy at Tottenham come off the bench, make things happen. Might start some games if he scores goals, but to have him and being talked about the fact that they're having to look at him to come in because they can't get a striker, it's embarrassing from Man United.
It is embarrassing, to be fair.
There you go, Jamie O'Hara there talking with Jamie Vardy. What do you reckon, Dino?
Well, he said he'd have him for Spurs.
I know, that's what...
but it's embarrassing for Man United to have him.
Yeah.
So I understand, if you're a Man United fan, the strikers you've seen at that club, you're thinking, hang on a minute, is that how much money we're going to spend now? Is that it? But he is better than what they've got, and it's worth getting him in the building just to coach the others how to score. Get him coaching the others.
No, absolutely. It's almost business time for the Lions over in Australia. Here we go. 2 more warm-up games before they take on the Wallabies over 3 tests. And then in action this morning in Canberra, the capital, against the Brumbies. Dino, bonus quiz question. Do you know what a Brumbie is?
Is it, I don't know, is it a little animal?
How little?
Like, it's not like a little bear or something, a little koala bear type thing? No. What is it?
It's a free roaming feral horse in Australia out in the bush.
Like a wild horse?
A wild horse, yeah, basically. Yeah, the game is live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2. Listen wherever you are. Whack these headphones on. Join us now live from the Geo Stadium in Canberra. Is the most feral man at talkSPORT, rugby reporter. That's a bit strong. Alfie Reynolds. Sorry, Alfie, about that.
Morning, Alfie.
Who's written that, Alan? Morning, lads. How we doing?
Well, that's Ollie, our producer, mate. Don't worry about that.
Now, it's all right, I'll forgive him.
Earlier we were talking about this game, this warm-up game, and I'm really looking forward to it. But it appears the Brumbies are missing 1 or 2 players, so they're not having their strongest side out to take on the Lions.
Yeah, it is a shame. It's been a talking point throughout the tour, really, the amount of Wallabies that are being released from Australia camp to face the Lions. There's a few here and there. It means we don't have a full-strength Brumbies team, which is a real shame because they're the best Super Rugby side in Australia. So you would have thought that they'd give the Lions the toughest test tonight. And when you look at the team that Andy Farrell has gone for, then, this is, I think, as close to the as close to the team to start the first test as we have seen so far from the Lions. It is a really strong side. I just hope that they get the challenge that we kind of hope they will from the Brumbies.
Alfie, are we looking for a fast start here at the Lions?
Yeah, well, they've started slow in a number of games on this tour so far. They haven't looked at their best, the Lions, really. I think they're still really searching for a performance which makes everyone sit up and say, OK, the Wallabies are on here. They're going to have to match something pretty special. The Lions have won all their tour games out here in Australia, so let's not be too down on them. But I think we're waiting for that kind of performance, which will be the Lions puffing their chest out and saying, yeah, we're here on Australian soil and we're coming to win a test series against you. Hopefully, that's tonight against the Brumbies.
Alfie's probably got most of the team in his head nailed on, and then there's a few who are trying not to play themselves out of the team today. Also, the players have got me thinking, I can't get injured in this game, so it's going to be a tough one for the players today.
Yeah, I think we've hit an interesting point in the tour, Dean, in all honesty. The Lions have obviously already had injury problems. Thomas Williams and Elliot Daly going home, who are both in great form. But it's this part of the tour now where us in the media and the fans look at this team and we think that's pretty close to the starting test team. The players must surely know that, but keeping everyone on side so they're still building towards that goal of beating Australia in the test series, I think is an interesting psychological challenge for Andy Farrell. I think he's more than up for it. He's clearly a great man-manager, but it is an interesting part in the tour. And you're right, I think on the whole this will be the starting test team, but I think there's a couple of positions still up for grabs. Tyke Furlong at tight head prop, I think hasn't been at his best, but he starts here today. Is it going to be Ollie Chesham at 6 or maybe Tyke Byrne? Chesham starts in this game tonight here in Canberra. And then the centres as well. Bundy Aki and Gary Ringrose, the Irish pair, play in this game, but no one in the centres has absolutely nailed their place on for that test side. So there's a couple of positions within this team that certainly there's still room for movement.
Alfie, I believe you caught a couple of Brumby and Aussie fans. What have they been saying? How confident are they?
Yeah, well, I was speaking to some Lions fans and they were enjoying it. They were saying that they think Owen Farrell could be on the bench for the Test series, which would be pretty extraordinary given that he's only just been called up and hasn't played for 9 weeks. But I spoke to some Brumbies fans as well, and I began by asking them whether this Brumbies team is capable of achieving what they did 12 years ago when they beat the Lions.
Well, I know the bookmakers have us at about $26 to do it again, and I know this is probably the strongest Lions team that they've put forward so far this tour in the warm-up games. But having said that, the Brumbies are a really special team in Australian rugby. They've been the best team by far for a number of decades, despite the fact that it's made up of the misfits and the outcasts of Sydney and Brisbane, with a few local Canberra boys thrown in there. But I wouldn't put it past the Brumbies to get over the Lions on this fantastic Lions team tonight. Their backline is brilliant, and really keen to see people like Ben O'Donnell and Debrasini play their last game for the Brumbies and see what sort of show they put on.
No chance, no chance. talkSPORT's the centre of a war of words between former Aussie players David Campo Campese and Matt Giteau. What on earth is going on? Are you still there, Alfie? No, we've lost Alfie, sorry. I don't know what's happened there, but I know
what's happened.
It was
a
interesting.
Bit of a row.
Yeah, Matt Giteau says, well, we know what Campo's like, he just spouts off, but I like Campo, I really, really do. Anyway, we shall see. Alfie, we got back. What's Campo and Matt Giteau been arguing about?
Yeah, well, David Campese, as we know, we've had him on talkSPORT plenty recently, isn't shy of an opinion. We had him questioning Mauro Itoje's captaincy earlier on in the tour, and he isn't happy at all that Owen Farrell has been called up to this squad. He was pretty strong and didn't really see why that had happened. And then Matt Giteau has shot back at him and went onto Twitter and said, David Campese needs to stop saying these sort of things because otherwise people will start to forget what a great player he was, what a legend he was when he actually played the game. So a little bit of a war of words between two Aussie legends.
Lovely, Alfie, thank you. He's only speaking his mind, and I like that, me. Now, don't miss tomorrow's show. We're going to be joined by 2003 World Cup winner and two-time British and Irish line, Jason Robinson, and Jason will be live in the studio. And we're your home with the Lions, don't forget our coverage of the game is about to get underway live and exclusive over in talkSPORT 2 right now. This is going to be a cracker and will tell us much about those test matches, what sort of side we're going to start against the Wallabies. You won't want to miss it, I guarantee it. Jim and Simon coming next. Dino, have a great day.
And you.
After Joao Pedro's breathtaking double sent Chelsea to the Club World Cup final, the question arises, can this young side mount a serious title challenge if they're not too knackered? They were lacking in the department of leadership and maturity last campaign, and former defender Mario Melchiot says they'll need to find an answer.
You need someone that is consistently making sure that if things don't go the way it's supposed to be going, that he grabs you and say, let's go.